Whoopsie. There we go. We should be live now. My mistake, everybody. Sorry about that. Yes. Hi. Who are you?
Wait, were you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh God, man, that's such an existential crisis question. Who am I? What's my purpose? But today, at least for today, I'm Mofi, and my purpose is figuring out this whole AWX Ansible thing, which I've been kind of looking into for the past couple of days for an internal project. But you and I decided, I don't know why I'm telling you this, because you already know the answer, but probably for the viewers watching, we thought it would be nice for us to stumble into this ourselves in live, so that people know these are not magic people just know, and see there are real people behind figuring these things out, and probably make people feel better about things they struggle with. Seeing two people struggling live, I don't know. I feel like there is it's kind of like a side story. There was scientific research done about like why people like those fail videos so much. Like people falling off and kind of things, right? Like if you ask like a normal person, like, would you want to see someone fall down the stairs, right? Like live in front of you, probably most people would say no. But in a video format, when we know that this happened and if the other person is fine, it's funny, right? Like people falling, and right. So that's kind of the thing, right? You get to see us fall live. Again, don't worry, we're gonna get back okay. We have good backup system so that we're not gonna be on the bottom of the stair forever. But at least you get to see us live falling off the stairs a few times.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And yeah. So and hi, I'm JJ. And normally, so today we play with some Red Hatters, but we didn't schedule it properly. So we are just doing it together today. But we are playing with some Red Hat software, which is called Ansible, and it's a automation framework. And AWX is the command and control for Ansible. To Mofi's point, we have some internal projects that we thought we could use Ansible as our driver for, and we're gonna kind of just, as Mofi said, stumble through this, trying to get it to work. We'll also probably publish a lot of this stuff, because most of this should not be proprietary by any standard. It should be just relatively straightforward. And then maybe one day everything will work, or everyone will see what's going on, which would be nice. All right, so Mofi, do you want to share your screen and drive for the initial part here?
Yeah. So I'm just like creating a new repo, because we'll see in a second, Ansible, AWX require all the playbook to come from a repo. So I was just finishing that up. Give me 1 second. I don't probably need anything. Okay, I don't need anything else. I'm just finishing that part up. I can probably share already.
And to the viewers that we have right now, you're more than welcome to ask any questions while we're doing this.
Also answer questions that we're gonna have, because we're gonna have questions.
Yeah, we are. We're absolutely gonna have
questions. Okay, so again, I just created this new repo. I called it AWX Playbook. Huh?
You're not sharing.
I'm not sharing yet. Yeah. Oh, Zoom, you have to click share twice. Still don't get it. What's up with that? But I just created this repo. It's live here at mofi.com/AWX Playbooks. Again, everything we do today will live here. So eventually, when you have to come back, you can go there. So git remote add origin. This git pull origin master. Okay. Ooh, unrelated history. Okay. Git push origin. That's gonna fail too, right? Okay. So git push -f origin master. I decided to create a license. Now it's like refusing to merge, whatever. I'm just gonna push it to merge there. So far, I have done nothing other than create the structure. So I have this folder called collections and playbook. So I have done some initial digging into figuring out why I need that collections folder. But we're going to talk about, I have this main.yaml, which as of now has nothing in there. I will add things as we go. And let me also, in the same time, get to my AWX dashboard. So we also spent the time to set up AWX a couple days ago. We're not going to go through that again.
Yeah, no, we're not. But I want to say that Mofi and I are now very well versed in how to get it running on both Kubernetes. And I spent yesterday which I haven't actually shown Mofi yet, but I wrote up on how to get it on a VM. Pretty straightforward also, which is really neat. So if you want the AWX, if you don't know, we should probably mention this as the command and control. It's actually the upstream version or the Fedora version of Ansible Tower, which is the paid product, which is really nice. So we're playing with free and open source software right now to be able to get this stuff working. But if you actually use Ansible Tower at your company and or whatever, AWX is a great playground to kind of learn how to get all this stuff to come together so you can use your Tower version too.
Okay, so hold on. So what I'm doing right now, I'm looking for the password for this. Hold on, give me 1 sec. I have it somewhere. Probably should have created a secret, like my one password entry for this, but I didn't. I'm gonna have to do it the old way. Look it up on my clipboard. Also, JJ, use a clipboard for anything?
9 out of 10 times, I use Alfred as my main thing, and it has a clipboard built inside of it.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, recent. It's basically a think of Spotlight but better.
Again, now the second question: what is Spotlight?
A little like magnifying glass by your.
I see. Okay, this one.
Yeah, that's Spotlight. Basically, it's a higher version of that.
Okay, so again, as you can see, with a lot of reds here, I have tried this a few times and failed miserably. So we're taking a step back from what we did there. We're going to try something different. But let's start here. This is your Ansible AWX dashboard. Once you log in, this is running right now on Kubernetes. AWX will just as well run on a VM or something. And I feel like the reason we looked at AWX was mainly because the application structure we're looking at, it creates some sort of job, and AWX has a nice way of taking those jobs via API calls. So you can also actually look at that. If you just go to API, all the API endpoints are actually available to see what are available here. What can you do with it? And available version API v2. Now these are all the APIs that are available, JJ, right away. There's
wow.
Yeah. So I was digging through it and I found yesterday, and also tells you all the options. What can you do with it and all that stuff. For example, we want to submit, say, a job. You get to see all the jobs with this. And I'm logged in right now. That's why I'm seeing the jobs. If you're not logged in, you wouldn't see it. But the idea is like testing, test job template, all the jobs we created so far on this thing, right? We get to see it. I think it also pulls down all the things, but there's also post endpoint. This is a get endpoint, right? So I got a get. But if I were to look for something else, this is a pretty big data endpoint. So it's anyway. So it's still loading. But the point is, all the jobs. I think the structure they created, it's like close to REST, but I think the official term for this is HADOS or hate.
Oh.
So the idea of HADOS, or I don't know how to spell it. I'm gonna try to type it. Yeah, this one. Someone on the chat probably can tell us what this is about. But
I thought Ansible, or I thought AWX was Django.
No, I know. So HADOS is not like a language. It's basically a structure of hypermedia as the engine of application state. So
what?
So this was supposed to be the next thing after REST, but it didn't really take off because designing your application in this structure is quite tedious. So, but it's great for this kind of thing. For example, you have this thing called related, right? And this, from each object, you know exactly what are the other things you can do from here. Right? Like right here, so we just looked at the jobs. Now all of a sudden we can see related. We can see who created it. We can just go to this API endpoint to see. Now we know who this user is, right? We don't actually put any information. We just put more hypermedia links, right? Okay. So just link on link. For example, now you're in the user. Now all of a sudden you get to see that, oh, what projects does this user have? So everything is two-way connected almost.
Oh, interesting. So you have to map it all out then.
Yeah. So if you somehow could, after the entire HADOS structure is done properly, you could technically start from any point on the application and create a graph that touches everything in the entire application. There is nothing disjointed. You know how sometimes in REST, you have this one thing that's completely isolated from this other thing. In Hados, idea is if you could crawl everything, and if you hit all the endpoints once, you will end up with a big graph that connects everything to everything. But like, again, as you can see, writing that structure, if you don't really not clear and conscious about what you're doing, it gets really out of hand really quickly. And for most application, it's way overkill. But for this, it makes a lot of sense because, because it's a thing you want to call from outside, you want to be able to give that all that information as quickly as possible. But I'm guessing this is like a Hados implementation. For example, like this, you have the account, and then you have this thing called links that tells you all the other accounts that are connected to this.
Got it.
Right.
Got it.
Versus, like, for example, here they say related. So that's what I'm saying. It's like a sound implementation of Hados. Again, I don't know how to pronounce it. I just only read it in papers. I never heard anyone say it because no one talks about it anymore. Anyway, so the idea is you have this API and it lets you basically control everything. Right now, we're just doing the get call, but you also have put version of the same thing where you can put like a new user by creating a new user. So you can just make an API call with the right authentication. You have to have authentication that you can create. But the idea is I have another application running on the same cluster and once that is happening, we will just make an internal call to that service with the proper authentication, and bam, we're controlling AWX from outside AWX.
Which is great.
Which is, and the little bit of digging I have done also, AWX also have a really good, like almost like an RBAC implementation. So you could create API keys that can only create jobs, but not change admin user.
Oh, nice.
Right, like things like that. So you can create rules that lets you, so our application, we only care for creating maybe new projects, new templates, and new jobs, and nothing more. We don't want to create new admin user. We don't want to change, delete jobs, and things like that. We have to just add new things. And those kind of things are possible to do as well. So you'll have to like dig a little bit deeper to find that. Again, it's 1 day's learning, obviously. There are a lot of knowledge gaps in there, so I have to spend some time into figuring this part out. But in terms of creating jobs, JJ, we did that yesterday, but I think it's worth going over some of this again. So there are a few big ideas here that we saw and maybe better for our users. One thing is it's any job you create, there you can get the code, the playbooks you get here are a couple of ways, mostly subversion control, like some sort of version control system. These days, I'm gonna guess everybody's gonna go through Git. And you could also choose to do private Git repository if you want to. But again, in our case, our Git repository is public, so we don't have to worry about that part. So if I were to just like select this and drop this here, and because we're going for master, I think by default it targets master, so we're not gonna have to worry about anything here. We don't have to also worry about ref spec or anything. So JJ, Mofi, Tinker. I don't know if that is
we probably want that update revision on launch. So every time we run it, it does a pull for what we look for, or no?
That is true. But like, I think another thing you could do, just click this button. It'll just re-pull everything. So
well, I mean, every time we run it though.
Right. I know. Yeah. So yeah, so update revision on launch. That's a good one. But like, as I was doing it, one thing I found is a little bit, I'm not a big fan of that one part, is that I know this code is being pulled down somewhere, right? But I don't, as a user, have access to go look at that playbook just to sanity check that the latest version or not.
Yeah, you have to
through AWS.
You have to trust that it's there.
Right. So I mean, I get it, but like I at least want to see the files. If I could see the list of files, that would make me feel a little bit better. Again, it's not like a make it or break it thing. I mean, most of the times I could just
add another YAML file to it, right?
Right, and see if there's a new YAML file. Right, but I'm just saying, like a day-to-day activity, you just pull the new changes. It'll be nicer to be able to sanity check that. But another cool thing here. So I'm gonna quickly save this and see whatever happens here. So I'm gonna save this, and so it is saved now. One cool thing is everything in AWX happens through jobs. So this SCM update, this itself happened through a job, and also this failed. So I don't know what happened. Let's see. Okay, here you go. So it tried running Ansible Galaxy collection install -r collections requirements YAML. There was nothing there. That's why it failed. that's fine. That's a thing we wanted. So another thing we found yesterday is that
so hang on. So already, now that we're just throwing random code up into a GitHub repo, we're not doing any linting or testing on that code,
no,
right?
we're not.
So when do you think, like, obviously we're both only 2 days into this,
Right.
but we try to have an example of the better practices, right? When do you think we should do like Ansible lint against it or something like that? Should we start that initially, or do you think we should try to get something working, then go back and put Ansible lint on there, and or testing with another Jenkins pipeline or something or whatever?
I feel like it ends up being kind of like so. Let me try to phrase this in a different way, right? Like, so let's say AWX is such a configurable thing, so that we want this particular repo to get updated every time we do something, right? Every time the repo updates, we want Ansible to automatically update. So I'm going to go back to project. I'm not going to create anything, but I'm going to just like open up the new creation one more time just to show you something. So SCM git. So in this one, right, there is nothing here. It says that every time the git repo itself update yourself. There's nothing there that does that, right? The one thing is this update revision on launch. Every time you try to launch the thing, it tries to update it, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily try to update itself every time the git repo itself gets updated. At the same time, this button right here, get latest SCM version, I feel like that should be part of this whole CI thing, because Ansible playbook, AWX or Ansible Tower can be configured to work on a webhook push. We should be able to then say, my git repo that is backed by this project got an update. I have to have some system that says, okay, that git repo updated. Now let me make somehow make an API call so that this button gets clicked. Not like not the button click, but this. So my code is getting tested by Ansible for Ansible features, like Ansible is fine, but then run this. So I'm gonna guess the pro or like the AWS Ansible Tower people would probably just go for this one. That is probably more than fine. That every time you actually run a job, check it that you have the latest version of it. I'm guessing what this does is checks for the git commit SHA and matches I have the latest. If it doesn't have it, it updates the latest, right? Probably not gonna download every time anyways. It just checks for the update. So this is probably fine for literally all the use cases. Okay. But like if I'm coming from outside in and for systems that I know I can make a CI tool do something, I probably would also look into that if it's not too difficult or a normal use case. Right.
I think I'm following.
Yeah. So, but like I'm just saying, so all that local testing for Ansible, that is nothing to do with AWX or Ansible Tower. We should do that, right? Like we should have testing for Ansible. We should make sure that Ansible playbook itself works, right? But whatever AWX does, this is another issue with like this abstraction layers we build on top. Oftentimes we do the best thing at the top level and call it a day. But the problem is somewhere much lower level, and when the error happens, no one has any idea why it's happening. But that is the one. So let me tell you why the error happened for us. So I was digging through. You remember yesterday we were figuring out how do I get my like Galaxy collections. That is how you can get modules into your Ansible working. And we looked at some folders, how to like putting a requirements.yaml file in your roles directory. The right answer is putting it into your requirements collections directory. And
so we're putting it in the wrong place then.
Yeah. So now we have that. So we have that collections. We have a requirements.yaml in collections, but as I just created it completely empty, I have nothing in that file.
Can you make the text a little bit bigger, please?
Oh, okay, sure. Text bigger. That should be big enough.
It looks a little bit bigger, actually.
Yeah, well, okay. But the reason is my monitor is pretty big. It's like a 27-inch monitor in front of me. So for me, it's like massive right now.
Oh yeah, no, I get it.
It's like,
don't worry, you're gonna get older. You're gonna get older one day, and you're gonna appreciate the bigger text.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make this bigger too, so that generally we have like a bigger thing. Okay.
Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
fine.
each of the letter is the size of like one of my finger point. Like that's how big the letters become. Anyway, so we have to add something to the requirements dot YAML so that it knows how to download this. And I'm gonna. This is not this. I'm just gonna. Okay, so hold on. I'm just gonna copy this one because we were looking at this yesterday. I'm gonna just get this moved over here. Nano, and again, once again, I am asking you to not judge me for using Nano here.
Yeah. Well, I silently judge you. It's fine.
It's okay. Silently judging, as long as you're not being vocal about it, I'm totally fine. Okay, so GST, git add, git commit.
And marketing goon, awesome. If you want to go to the beggar, please don't hesitate to say anything. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them in the chat.
I am not following the chat right now, but JJ is. So
yep.
At mention JJ, or at awesome, as JJ would put it.
We had one comment saying as long as it's not Emacs that you're using, you're okay.
Okay, excellent. Well, the thing is, I started coding and I already had access to like IDEs, and I got kind of like the easiness of not having to set up this thing. And also, if you're setting up Vim, it's great. I have seen people do magic on Vim, but at the same time, you move to a new VM, and all of a sudden, you have to do that setup again and again and again and again. So I try to keep any IDE or anything I use to the basic setup that it is, so that I tend to move computers. I tend to reinstall things quite often. It's almost like reinstalling OS is kind of like a hobby of mine. So I tend to do that quite often. And having to go through that process over and over again is not. I miss things, and all of a sudden my experience is broken. So anyway, not trying to say like this is not like amazing. I would like to learn Vim at one point because it's cool, but at the same time, one day. I played the Vim Adventures game for like few sessions. It's good. It's not bad. Okay, now it's green because again we fixed that requirements. It downloaded the thing, and we can go to the job itself. That's another thing I was saying, that everything in AWX happens in AWX. It happens as a job. So this one this just finished. So you can get to see this went to repository version. He got the new version. I downloaded the thing. So
wonderful.
We have the latest version of the code. Now, if I go to templates, we're gonna have to create a new job template using the This is so much fail. So I'm gonna create a new job template. Creating a job template is quite I'm gonna say straightforward too. Once you create one. So it's a run type job. I have to test the other two. I'm guessing check is basically just to run a true false thing.
Yeah, it's a state. It's a state.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually do anything.
So the inventory is basically a collection of hosts. In our case, all the things we are running, we want it to run on localhost and take some action somewhere in the cloud. So for our use case, we can just use any of them. They're both targeting localhost. We're gonna go, actually we should go back to the inventory one more time before we finish this. But for project, you have a list of all the projects. In this case, you're gonna go for JJ and Mofi Tinker and look for playbook. Right now, we're not gonna find anything because it's looking for a playbook, and none of the playbook are valid playbooks. So that's another nice thing AWX does, that it already does some checking when it downloads the things. For example, we have a main.yaml at the root, right? We have that, but it is not actually doing anything. So if I do cat, what are the things? Playbooks, main.yaml. This one doesn't have any content. And I'm guessing AWX is running a test to check valid Ansible playbooks. And right now we have none, which is fine for now. I'm gonna just save this.
That's gonna get angry at you because it has no playbook.
Yeah, I don't have a playbook, so I can create it. So let's go back and create simplest of playbooks there could be. So playbook main.yaml. What is the simplest playbook you know, JJ?
--. Yep.
That's the simplest playbook I know.
Yeah, and then like, hello. There you go.
Hello Ansible. I'm gonna go a little unique here. I'm not gonna do the classic hello world.
All right.
Oh, plus hold on. I'm not done. and AWX.
Hey.
Parenthesis tower. Look at that. I'm just going full circle here. There you go. Git add commit add debug playbook. I just realized.
Oh shit! How are we going to get it to talk to our Kubernetes clusters?
Well, so hold on. Git push origin master. So that's another nice little thing. So you can actually pass an environment variable that is the kubeconfig file. It's the content of the kubeconfig file YAML. We could pass it as an environment variable.
But we have to pull it down like every 24 hours or something like that, right? Because you do the kube cluster or IBM Cloud. I mean, I guess we could just create a job that just does that, like every 24 hours.
So okay. When we get so we have a IBM Cloud Ansible module as well that has some issues right now that I have to get fixed. But that one, after that finishes, this actually downloads the actual config at the end of it.
Oh, and then we can use
download
the
the config
module.
and puts it in a file location. Yeah.
Then we can use the KDS module to do. Okay, cool. Like it literally just dawned on me. I'm like, we're
gonna just chain it. So we're gonna do the deploy the cluster, then chain that next task to do this. So
we're skipping deploying the cluster because of the problems you discovered. But we're still authenticate with the cloud and then use that kube config to talk to the cloud to do something.
I mean, we can talk about the problem itself too. I don't think it's some major secret.
No. Let's skip it for now. Let's keep going where we're going because people want to actually see Ansible working and doing the stuff. So let's not talk about a bug that we found that we can't do anything about.
That's right. True. Okay, that's fair. Okay, before I create the template, I have to first re-update this because I just pushed an actual YAML file there. And whenever this one comes back, that's when you know it's done. And it's back. It's done. And next thing, before I jump into the template again, I'm just going to show you quickly what inventory is. And this is red right now because I think all the jobs under this failed for the last few times. That's why it's red. But in terms of like host, we have this one host, which is localhost. That's pretty much it. Why is it still red? I don't know. Let's see. Shouldn't it say why it's red?
Yeah, to tell you.
Like I think this is why. So the completed jobs on this inventory, if you go to that list, it's all red because I tried. So it's not happy. But again, the inventory itself is fine. In this case, we're targeting localhost. So anyway, so I'm gonna go back and create a new job template again. Hopefully this time it finds main.yaml. JJ Mofi job tinker. I like the word tinker. It's a funny word.
It is a fun name. It is a fun word. It's also a really fun character to play in Gloomhaven. If you've ever played it.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
God, Mofi, you disappoint me so many times. So many times.
Hey, you can't win everything, you know. Oh, okay. This is not nice. I don't know what's happening. Okay, so I put the main.yaml. It doesn't.
Isn't it in playbook? Isn't it in playbook? Like, isn't the location is like playbooks?
That's what I was thinking. So when I say choose a playbook, it doesn't. Okay, so the other repo we tried, it just got it immediately. So what I am thinking is we may have, like this folder might have something like a list of all the playbooks here that lets it find it easily. I don't know.
It's examples. Yeah, examples.
No, not examples. No, not here. So when I use this one as the root folder, it found everything under examples automatically. Right? You saw that.
You know, you probably it's probably because you called it in a directory called playbooks, and playbooks is probably a key to do something. I know that for a fact.
That is probably true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So MV playbooks to what should we call it? Examples.
Tasks.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
That's another thing. Like, I don't know if that is the issue or our Git didn't update. Like, you know, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, having something.
Welcome to sysadmining and DevOps. You just keep throwing shit against the wall. Eventually, something will work.
That's why I like lower level stuff. with like, well, not lower level stuff. Like that's why I like something like Go, where you're writing the code and that's what runs. It's not like you write your code and 8 level up, something else runs that calls your code at some point. It's so hard to debug things, but you know, we can't all be building things from scratch. So okay, so I just gotta go back and update this. Man, this is a terrible start. I thought by now it'd be like at least printing "Hello World" Ansible by now.
Nope. Nope. That's the way it happens.
Anyway, no, I think that's part of the course. Part for. I don't know what that actual phrase is. Part for the course. What is the?
Part for the course. Yeah, part for the course. That's right.
I used to think the word is as part of the course. Anyway, I'm gonna try to do the project first so that we can immediately see. No.
Did it say no? Oh.
Yeah. So what if did you call it tasks? Imagine tasks is another keyword.
Okay, so there's something we're obviously missing. Hang on. IBM.
Okay, tasks that main.yaml, we do that.
Ansible.
Okay.
There's got to be like a configuration that we're missing or something.
What if I just like try this and see what happens? Because it's gonna let me save it.
All right. As the kids say, YOLO.
Okay, playbook not found for the project. It didn't find it. So
well, take away tab. Take away the slash. Just do tasks. Do tasks / main.yaml.
Okay, so try saving that. It didn't find it.
God damn it.
So I'm utterly confused as to like why they would find the other repo. So
you could try change it to examples. Let's just try that now to get that out of the way.
Okay.
I realize how dumb that is, but just try it anyway.
Okay. MV tasks to examples. What is that?
Examples.
Oh, yeah. Plural. Okay. Okay. GST git add dot git commit dash m rename tasks. Man, my git commit history. It's fine. My commit history is gonna be like.
Yeah, you can always squash it. It's fine. Rewrite history. It's fine.
You want to have that like dark green on your git for the day. Yeah. Anyway, so we did push that, and if I refresh, not this one, but this one. Another thing, like I've been a big fan of this new tool I've been playing with. Not playing. I've been using. It's called the Great Suspender, and has taken down my Chrome RAM usage by quite a lot.
You know, you can just close tabs. You know.
What? They let you do that? Isn't that like a special license you need to close tabs?
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, I thought that was a pro feature. Like you have to pay extra money to be able to close tabs.
There's got to be a history or something. Click on that link in the projects. There's got to be like something we can see.
Where?
On the Mofi, like click on the link beside. There we go. There's not like a log or something.
So if I do expanded, it says nothing. That's it. So.
Oh, but it gives us a revision.
Oh, last modified is this. So I don't think it is pulling the latest changes then.
And then also click on that you see the little, I think is that a copy right beside revision? Like double check, see if that revision is the one that we just pushed. Oh, there we go.
Oh, we just copied this. No, this didn't change. This changed, but okay. So this is the revision FB something. Let's go back and see if that is the case. FB, yeah, that is the one.
Perfect.
So it pulled the latest commit, that's for sure. And that button creates a new copy of the same project.
You asked, oh, okay. Well, don't worry about that then. But you asked for some way to verify, and I just gave it to you. You should be happy, Mofi. You should be happy.
You know, JJ, shut up. Anyway, okay. So again, well, okay. Let's just say I'm happy about that part. That's fine. But we updated that and all that. Let's go back to the template. I'm still not understanding why this would not get the data out of there. And I can, and just to prove I'm not crazy, this is another repo that I was like trying to point to here on this one. Where's that at? So this is the repo, and this one, see, all the examples just show up here. So I did nothing different compared to this and that. So I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna create a new one.
That is confusing.
If this shows up on the name example, I'll be upset. Job. Test inventory. Project is going to be JJ Mofi Tinker. Jeez, okay. I don't. Okay. I'm gonna look at a couple.
Let me do some Googling on my side. You keep working on stuff.
Yeah. So
AWX.
Another thing is main.yaml might be a problem. I want to change that. I'm gonna try with that one more time. MV examples YAML to print.yaml.
Oh wow! So this is open source in a nutshell. Where are you, Mofi?
I am somewhere. I don't know where.
If anything, we should just, or I'm going to put this in the chat, and then I'm going to give this to Mofi, and this is basically open source in a nutshell.
So what did you find?
Click on the link.
Okay, hold on. So JJ just sent me something. I'm gonna move this here as to not share all the secret conversation we have. Okay, so 1636 issue number. That's a pretty early issue actually.
Keep going.
Okay, we did that.
Literally, it's, oh, I figured it out. Thanks, close. Didn't tell us how. It says it's an SE Linux problem, which, what? And like,
okay, is there a downvote thing? I'm gonna give a downvote. That's yep. Like I'm being the Roman Greek czar. That's the thing. You know what? I don't like it. You get fed to the tigers.
But that's open source in a nutshell.
Like, okay, so I had to have added the hosts. That's it. That was.
Maybe, I think. Maybe.
I mean, that's the one that got a lot of love. So I'm going to look at an example that I know works. So yeah, hosts, local hosts. I'm going to just go add that. I'm going to add the name in there as well. Well,
oh shit! I figured out a way. I figured out a way to look inside the container.
Oh, how?
Here, check it out. Where is it? Where are you?
I am still at the home.
There you go. I mean, obviously, it'd be cube exec for us. But right. You actually go, you go into that task, and then you look at that directory, and that's actually how you see it. Okay. That's actually really clever.
Anyway, yeah. Well, I mean, again, that's my point too. This is downloading all the things locally, keeping all the project things locally. It'd be, I don't think it would be like terrible to have a button to be able to see what's there. That's all I'm saying. Because if it was something you have to go do something extra to make that happen, I would understand. But all the files are there locally.
Bring up the chat again, and that's to reconfirm what you're missing. Yeah.
So Nano, now we are at examples.
I mean, change it to playbooks. If it didn't matter, change the same thing back to playbooks.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna have to do something like this. What are we doing?
We got to change the name of the playbook to like debug notice or something. I don't know.
And then we're gonna have to say hosts, local host.
And then we got to do tasks because that's a task. Because now that we have that, we got to do. Yeah. It's dash tasks, I believe, and it's on its own line at the beginning, and you bring everything else down. Yeah.
So like this.
Oh God! Now you're asking.
Hey, I only ask reasonable. No, I think it's not a tab. It's on the same level as name.
Oh yeah, yeah, right.
Man, I mean, I think Corey Quinn was joking that we're gonna see that like a YAML engineer. I think that's gonna be happening sooner than later.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Like knowing YAML, he just like in the company, his job is just read YAML and give a green check mark or not.
Mm-hmm. At least it's not JSON. I mean, I hate those damn
What do you got?
twirlies, man.
What do you got against JSON stuff?
I always forget. I always forget the commas and shit. Like, man, I can't remember that stuff.
Anyway, so this was, I feel like, a good thing that we stumbled into this, because otherwise I was just reading the working examples and be like, okay, this works. Mine will also work. This is good. So hopefully our viewers don't stumble into dumb things like this, but I'm pretty sure they will. It's almost like a rite of passage to stumble into dumb things. Another thing I was doing, I was not necessarily executing into that particular container that runs it. I was basically looking at the log for AWS task. And I was just like looking at when I click this button, what happens? It just runs a bunch of tasks. It doesn't print enough things. But oh yeah, now I have changed the path. So it no longer knows what examples that is. Anyway, so I have changed this. Let's go back one more time. One more time. 7th time is the charm, as they say. Whoever days. JJ, Mofi, job. Okay, inventory is going to be test inventory. Project is going to be JJ, Mofi, Tinker. And finally, the playbook. Aha!
Yay!
So, okay, rule number 1, always put a host. That's how Ansible figures out if it's a valid thing. And this is where I'm guessing Ansible lint would have caught that. So this is where testing is useful. And yeah, anyway, so let's do that. And we're to say, I mean, okay, I'm going to say launch whenever it's ready to launch. Is it? Oh, so job template. Okay, I can launch it and see. When you launch it, it goes to a new page, which is pretty nice. You get to see exactly what happened here.
Maybe.
And this is the simplest. Okay, what did I do?
Syntax problem.
All right.
Name is wrong.
Okay. Appears.
Bring up the cookbook.
No. So
cookbook,
name itself is not wrong. I think the error was this, but all the error comes at the top level thing that calls it. I think I know what it is. Playbook, simple KS, main, print.yaml. Yeah, no, I don't know what this is.
We might have Nibs join us here in a minute.
Excellent. Nibs is a expert in this kind of weird things, which is great. Yeah, so what is this? So a malformed block was encountered while loading tasks, debug, message, hello. Should be a list or none, but is class. I'm so confused. Okay, hold on. You know what I'm gonna do? Docs.ansible. No, docs.awx. No, where's the doc for this?
Probably missing a dash according to Nibs.
Probably missing a dash.
Looking, hang on.
When I added a dash here, oh no, that should be it.
YAML dictionary instead of a YAML array.
Oh, I think, it could be the tasks. Like we have to have a task as a list. Isn't that what it is? Each task is a.
Each task has a name.
Yeah. Each task is this. Okay. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, we didn't name it. Yeah, we didn't name it. That's the problem. no, we need to put a name in front of that debug line, I believe, on top of it, and then put name. Yeah,
Okay.
You got it. You're with it. And
That's me getting desperate.
Yeah, that's right. That looks better. Oh, you don't have to name them? Oh, I thought you did. Okay. And I keep calling them cookbooks too, which is obviously wrong. But that's just foresight. I do. If you haven't caught me saying cookbook, is that a playbook a couple times? That's just a force of habit there.
Where is that from, JJ? I don't understand. Is that a company that does called it this way? Is that something?
It was a previous life.
Where are you working in a restaurant? Where?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Where are you in the back end of a restaurant before? Was that from? Hey, you should also. This is also, I think, calls for excellent from doing.
Oh yes.
Excellent.
Excellent. Okay. The more of this like tools I use, I realize like so much of engineering is spending time in figuring out how to use something.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. And writing, I also realize writing documentation is so difficult because you don't know where, especially in the higher level things, because you don't know where your user base is actually coming from, right? Like if someone was coming to Ansible from something really similar, something like, I don't know, Puppet Chef or one of the other ones, I feel like a lot of the ideas carry over. But
just doing things in a little bit different way. Yeah.
Right. But like, you have to do X, but you don't know how to do X in this particular platform. But for me, I have never done like this kind of things before. So all of a sudden, like I'm dealing with things that are completely out of my wheelhouse, but it's so approachable too. Like you feel like you can just do it because it's just right there. So
and it's all like doing development work, right? Where when you're writing a program, if you have the core concepts of development, hey.
So, all right. So, JJ, I think this is a good time to end our stream. We have
exactly. That's right. GTFO right now.
yeah. Like let's take the win and walk out, so it can be like we ended at a win. Okay. So, but this was just for me to prove writing a playbook for AWX from scratch. Now we can actually start doing the real things. For this one, we need K8s module, Ansible, and I think the documentation is here.
No,
that's wrong. That's Katakura. I think Katakura was down yesterday. I don't know. I tried loading that module yesterday and it didn't work. So module K8s.
So for the people in the chat, just a question. Hopefully someone will answer this. I do have a nice little soundboard of random little sounds. Is there a sound that you would like to have so I could spam it on Mofi's ears every once in a while? If you wouldn't mind suggesting, that would be great.
Oh, there's one I actually like. You know the TV show Office? And in that one of the scenes, Michael goes, "No, God, no!" That one.
Oh! Actually, that's not a bad idea.
You should totally get that one because like every time I try suggest something that's really terrible, which is like quite often, it should be like that. Like, no, God, no.
Michael Scott.
Okay, so you get to pass parameters. One of them is API key, specified as variable there. That's one of them. Also, you can do CSR, client start, and client key. So I don't know if I can just path. I'm just looking for it. Hold on. Password. Just trying to figure out exactly what the values I need. So if you are running in the local machine and you already have kubeconfig set up, it picks that up. But in our case, we don't have that. We want to pass the right values into this thing. So trying to figure out how to
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Right. So that That exactly. That is the sound you want to go for. Okay, so let's kind of dig through the documentation for a second.
No, God!
Sorry.
No, God, please, no! No!
JJ, I thought you liked
No!
documentation, JJ. I don't know why are you hating on docs. Man, when you zoom in, this ad on the left kind of like gets in your face, kind of. You see that?
Yeah.
Like Ansible, Red Hat automation platform. Ah. Okay, so I was trying to find examples. I'm too zoomed in. I'm gonna pull back just a tad. 200% probably a little bit extreme. I'm gonna go to 150. That's okay. That's the one. The testing. They're saying the namespace is available. No one shows the documentation for like how to authenticate against something. That's just the worst. Okay, so all of them are like, oh yeah, your Kubernetes is already set up. Let's go. But no one talks about. Okay, so that's not cool. What do you suggest we start from? Like, for an example, better example. Ansible K8 module example. I'm probably end up with the same doc.
Okay.
What does your research experience tell?
Sorry about that, Matt. So sorry. Oh, my bad. All right. So yeah, sorry, Mofi. Okay. Let me stop messing around and actually pay attention to what's going on now.
So let me say what I'm trying to do right now. So the Kubernetes module, I tested locally on my regular Ansible. And what this one does, it basically reads the information directly from your kubeconfig variable that is set. If you have that set, then it just like all the command you run in the K8 module, you do that. So it says you could also pass in things like username or like CSR and other things. And if we are to look at our Kubernetes, so KX, whichever I have, so Mofi ingress, and if I were to say cat tilde dot cube config, so we'll just print all that. So if I were to scroll up a little bit, you don't know which context it is, so you can really steal anything here. But if I were to take this is my certificate data, this is my key data. In theory, I should be able to pass it, but I just need to see an example of where am I passing the CSR and client key.
Okay.
Because they're saying can also be specified, but in AWX, we don't have any way to set an environment variable, or at least I don't know of a way of setting environment variable, but you were allowed to pass in these parameters. And I want to know, how do I pass parameters to the K module? I don't necessarily see any particular example of doing that.
Yeah,
or is it just literally in YAML, you just pass it here?
Damn it. Hang on.
Well, okay, let me just actually reverse engineer this. So you have the state variable, right? For example, you have the state variable that is like the same level as the other things. You pass that here. So I'm guessing you will pass the other things there as well.
There's this right here. I don't know if you've seen this yet, because I'm half paying attention because too many things are going on around me. There's an auth module.
Ooh, okay. Let's look at that. That could be interesting. Also, did Ansible release a new version?
I don't know.
It's 2.10. Oh, it's a developer version. This is an older version? What's going on? Let's try to go to that on the latest.
Has an K8s bearer token credential type. Ooh, that could be useful too. Just got AWX or AWX just often against it.
Oh, okay. So it could go to credentials and
that could make life a hell of a lot easier.
Oh yeah, well, maybe.
Well, assuming it just offs against it, right? Oh, there we go.
Nice. API endpoint and bearer token.
Click on the question mark.
So endpoint, we know what the endpoint is.
We do?
Barrett. Yeah, all our clusters comes with an endpoint. If I do IBM, sorry.
Oh, the
IKS,
public endpoint. That's right.
yeah, that's the
right.
endpoint.
Yeah.
That's what you
Yeah.
IKS cluster get -c Mofi ingress. If I were to do that, again, IKS for me is alias for IBM Cloud KS. That's a lot of. I'm saving so much keystrokes.
You're already a Vimmer, man. Like that's what Vim does. Have you not played Vim Golf?
So yeah, so that's the public service endpoint URL, which also is the master URL. So this is the URL we need for that. We also need the bearer token, and I know how to build that bearer token. Hold on, I know how to do that. Let me quickly find that.
That'll be valuable put in the chat, by the way, when you figure out how to do that.
Yeah. Let me first find it. It's somewhere.
Why don't you have it now, Mofi?
Huh?
You should have it now. You should have it now, Mofi. Why don't you have it now?
Where is the no God no button when you need one? Hold on.
By the next stream, I'll have that. I'll have that button. Don't worry.
I think you have to shorten it a little bit. It kind of drags on a little bit too much.
I found a bunch of Donald Trump ones. Like there's a whole like 101soundboards.com where there's a lot of soundboards that I could be using. So
Kubernetes. Let's see.
Gordon Ramsay.
Oh no, I don't. Okay, no, that's not good. That's on my other computer. That's fine. Okay, I'll do that. I'm gonna find it on the interwebs, as the kids call it. KAS API. There is so basically what you do is to take those three things, and you can create the bearer token by doing stuff. I forget exactly how to do it, but I had another documentation in my other laptop, which I'll grab. If I can't figure it out in the next 5 minutes, I'll go grab that.
That's fine. That's fine. So if everyone's noticed also that we're putting all our playbooks out on actual GitHub. So I spun up an AWX environment on one of my virtual hosts internally, and I've realized that. Ooh, do it now. That's a good idea. I really should get that one.
Do what?
Another sound that I should probably put in for my soundboard. But yeah. So I was thinking of like I know we're all putting our code out on GitHub for what we're doing here, but I'm going to be doing my internal testing and playing around some playbooks to do some stuff, and I don't want to give them out to the rest of the world. So I'm thinking about setting up Gitia, if you've ever seen this before. Which there's some whatchamacallit around. There's some hesitation around Gitia because it's written from a Chinese company that in theory could steal some stuff, but it is all open source, and I'd imagine the nerds would have found like if it was shipping code out somewhere or whatever. So I think it's not a big deal, and especially also if I put like keys and shit in there, I don't think it's going to be a big deal. So my goal is to hopefully get a Gitia version up and running on one of my machines locally, so then I can start using AWX locally to talk to that Gitia instance, so that I can do the code that Mofi's doing here, but not on public GitHub, because I'm going to be lazy and have keys and stuff. And also, I got a KVM QEMU box up and running recently, where I'm going to want to do some post provisioning, and it'd be nice to have some internal playbooks to be like, I need a web server. AWX, give me web server.
Here it is. So each of the service account actually has the token there already, so which is good. We could steal one of those tokens to do it. Yeah, that probably would be easy to do. Okay, so let's go do that. Okay, get SA. Okay, get SA -o YAML. Okay, so which one is it doing? It has image pool secrets. It has this one secret default token. Okay. Okay, get secret. Okay, get secret. This, we have that. Okay. Dash O YAML. We have this token that I am guessing we can just make an API call against Kubernetes with now. So what is the API call we make? Quite simply, Carl, endpoint, name should be default. Okay. So, but that is that can authenticate against the whole Kubernetes cluster or not? That's fine. We can figure that out. Carl. So echo export token equals this. We have that. And now what you're gonna do is maybe just copy this one. Then we can replace the URL with something. This is not gonna work anywhere. So this will fail. And IKS cluster get -c Mofi ingress. Did I spell ingress right? Oh, sorry. Okay. No, this is wrong. This is not the. This was a VM, so I'm not even logged in there. So, okay, this one. This is the one I need. Okay, where am I? Okay, good. So Carl dash K.
QCOW2. Oh, I forgot about that. It doesn't actually give, it's not a raw, it's a QCOW2, so it only writes up to what it needs. Nice. Nice. I'm over here doing something completely different.
Thanks, JJ.
Can you, so Nibs, yeah, it's going to be small for right now as Mofi's trying to get the token. We probably don't want people to actually see a lot of that. I mean, I could put up the privacy screen, which I just did.
This cluster is going away anyway, so it's fine.
Oh, okay, all right.
Default pods. Okay, I got unauthorized, so that, okay, that's fine. So my token didn't like my token. Echo.
The token also expires, so we're going to have to figure out. We'll have to create a job that gives that token to us every 24 hours.
Yeah, well, another thing, we don't have to worry about that because we get the kubeconfig YAML file after and the end of that anyway, so we don't have to worry about that part. But right now, because we're skipping a step almost. This is supposed to work anyway. Let's look at it.
You have, according to Nibs, you have single quotes, and that's probably the reason why it's not working.
This one.
Yeah.
Man, this. Like, why would you give people option for 2 quotes if one? Okay, no, that was not the error.
No, I didn't do it.
That's something else. Let me just kind of continue reading. This guy seemed like he's doing some stuff. Except application. Oh, application JSON is missing that part probably. And so. I mean, I don't think that is the one that is making or breaking it, but okay. Maybe the spelling of there. What is happening here? Authorization. Some of them take hard. Okay, no, that's not it. API v1. What if I just try for this? That is not it. Okay. Trying to think. This is trying to do this in code. Okay, so if I put the endpoint here and see, maybe I'm making the curl command wrong and see maybe if they get it better. What do you think?
Yeah, we'll see.
Entire value, and the endpoint would be this one. Oh, was I not putting the actual port on my terminal command? No, I was.
Yeah.
I was putting port. Didn't mean to call that. Okay. Sorry for going back and forth a little bit here. Okay, so come back here. Drop that in there. Okay. And certificate authority data. Okay, which one is gonna be that one? Okay, X. Oh, also we're targeting the wrong cluster. Damn it. Okay, that's, well, that would do it. Let me go back here. Okay. Wrong. This is the one. Okay, export token is equal to this. Why is it printing like this? You see my screen?
Seems, yeah, that is really slow.
Yeah, anyway, finished. Oh, there's the equal sign at the end. Okay. So I'm going to also try to copy the curl command. Okay, we got the same status as failure unauthorized. So that wasn't the issue. Oh, okay, hold on. Still not good. KX, K get SA. Okay, K get secret default token get secret -o YAML and
Just thinking about it.
oh, it printed it. My font is way too big for me to actually see. Sorry, I'm gonna decrease the font size a little bit so that I have a reasonable size to actually see things. Oh my God, what is this thing? Okay, secret. We have data. This. Oh, this is the actual token. I think I had the wrong cluster URL and token. I have all sorts of wrong things happening. I don't understand why this happens sometimes. Also, my CPU usage is pretty high. Every time I do video conferencing, my CPU usage literally skyrockets. Like it happens with Zoom, with or WebEx, with Jitsi.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I just gotta get a new computer probably. Okay, so that still is failing. API v1 name spaces. Could it be this token is base64 encoded? Because Kubernetes secrets are base64 encoded. Yeah, every value here is base64 encoded. Probably that's why.
Yep.
Echo -n. Okay. So this is, yeah, this looks more like a bearer token starting with EY. Hold on, let me try this again. And you can see like my computer print line by line. Okay. Yay, this is different. Okay,
Sweet.
good. Yeah, namespace, and say default, then say pods. Okay, we got forbidden. Cannot, that basically because my service account. Okay, so rolling back, we got to the right thing, but the service account we had created doesn't have enough permission to do everything.
Oh.
Right. That's just like what it is, right? That's fine. I should be able to list pods in this namespace though. AWS staging. Oh, system service account. Oh, okay. So I'm in the wrong namespace. So if I say AWX staging /pods, Build pod. Okay. Cannot list resource pods in API groups. Okay. Get secret, and we have AWX secrets is not the one we need. This is the one we need. Get secret -o YAML. So this probably is the service account we created. So this is the token for that namespace. Export token.
Print in a weird way.
What?
Print out in a weird way. Just trying to be funny. It obviously didn't land.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm like 18 errors in. Jokes are a little bit difficult. So pods is forbidden for users. So like I couldn't list the pod. Like that's just kind of like, so what do you have to do? We create a new role with permission for basically more things. So we gotta do that ourselves. So CD, documents, Kubernetes. We should probably just create like that kind of YAMLs previously, which we didn't. So this is time we can do it now.
Well, no, it's like, yeah, we create the YAMLs and then we can publish them so we don't have to keep doing this over and over again to give the rights that we want. We're basically creating service accounts.
Yeah, well, so we have the default service account, but we don't have the right roles. So if I do get roles, in this, there is no role created in this namespace. Get, but instead, if I were to move to default, I believe there are some roles. There's also no roles. Okay, never mind. KS.
Why do you lie to me, Mofi? Why do you lie to me?
I thought there would be. I'm sorry. Get cluster roles. There could be some cluster roles here and there. There you go. You see this, a lot of these cluster roles like view, basic user, admin. Probably there is one called admin. There is one called admin. Okay, which service account is using the admin? Hold on. Get SA -- all namespaces. I'm gonna find that admin service account, and this one has permission to do like freaking everything. I don't know which one it is. Never mind, it's okay. So we don't have access to that particular role, but let's say we can probably just steal the admin cluster role or view cluster role and give it to us. -o YAML. So this is what we're missing. Our particular role is missing the power to see everything.
Yes.
So that's what we gotta do. So here, all of that, we need rules for API group, all of the API groups, Let's see if admin is probably a little bit cleaner in terms of give everything, which is also a terrible idea if you are gonna open it, because admin service account would then have permission to literally create, delete everything everywhere. Oh my God, this is a long one.
Just export it out to a file, right? And then like do a caret service account .yaml or whatever.
Yeah. But this, okay. So I'm gonna probably, I had a different file that I. Okay, so ls cd, we created a folder right now. Where did it go? Roles. Oh, Kate's roles. There you go. Okay. Nah. I'm gonna now finally give in and get to my IDE. Right now, I'm using VS Code. Has been for about 2 years. Big fan.
You know, you can get Vim bindings for it.
You can get Vim bindings for anything. You probably can, like, if you try real hard, you can probably get Vim binding for your microwave.
That's probably true, actually.
Anyway,
I keep meaning to have a stream where I play NetHack. If you've ever seen that game, which is like is a procedural dungeon crawler that actually has a bunch of like Vim bindings built inside of it. But every time I do research into NetHack, I get lost and I'm like, I don't want to be in front of a computer right now. I've been in front of computers all day today. So do I really want to keep doing this? But
Okay, so
anyway.
this is the YAML we need. How do I just like, could I just do pb copy and k cube ctl get cluster row admin dash o YAML? It's look pb copy tries to do a file, so that's not gonna work. I could do the other thing and then pipe that to a file. That's true, right? I can do that.
Yeah.
So I could say echo. How does that work? This.
Don't you need
Then I
xargs
can-
in there or something? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay, I think I did it. Did it do it? No. Damn it. I thought it would have done it. Well, Spencer would know. Spencer knows this kind of things. Okay, no, that didn't work. So, like I can just probably just copy it. Who cares? Whatever. I'll let the fancy bash stuff to Spencer. Okay. 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 We went too far, did I? Oh my God! Can I just like find? Okay, here you go. Okay, we did that, and we came here. We printed that. Oh, this is dealing with operators and all that stuff. But for now, let's just say this is fine. And okay, the name of it is we have to change. This is long. Okay, so in the cluster role, the name would be our admin. Great name. I understand that. Admin role. So we have a new thing called our admin created, hopefully, after that. Okay, now we have to create a service account with that role. So admin sa.yaml. And now get sa. Okay, get sa default -o YAML. Like to see what they're doing. How do you attach cluster rules to service account again? Gotta look it up.
Cluster role binding, if I remember correctly.
Okay, hold on. Just do it. Kubernetes service account cluster role binding. Look at you, JJ, remembering your terms.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Oh man, that one is quite long, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
You gotta just like God, and I gotta cut it down to like about 3 seconds. That's the sweet length. Any longer than that, you're just like, what are we even doing, you know? Okay, so that's the role. I need to get a service account that accesses that. So cluster role, we did that. Cluster role. Anyone gonna use this cluster role ever today?
Hopefully.
Yeah, so we can create the role cluster role binding. That's how we do it. I totally remember that. Admin role binding dot YAML. So can I get not here, not there. Get cluster role binding. Okay, so if you see any admin role binding here, that's the one we need. Okay, so maybe this one. Get cluster role binding this -o YAML. Oh, geez, what are they doing? So we don't need a lot of that. So we can say API version rback.authorization.k8.io/v1 kind is cluster row binding, and why it's not happening? Then we're gonna say row ref API. I can just copy this part. In this case, the role name is, and I added a 0 there. That's not good. And I think we call the role our admin.
That sounds correct, yes.
Okay, so that's the role reference. And then we're going to say subject. Subject's kind is going to be service account. And the name is going to be our admin SA. Okay, so we have to create a service account. Get SA default -YAML. You can just probably copy this one in. Don't have any secret for this one. Don't need this. And the name can be our admin SA. Creation timestamp, we don't need that. Okay, so K apply -F admin role binding. This is probably gonna fail. Would it fail? What? Okay, so what did it fail on? Name and namespace. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Kind. Does the name go on top level? I don't remember. Hold on. Metadata gets name. Okay, it's under metadata. Makes sense. Makes sense. Our admin role binding. Okay, and namespace. AWX staging. Okay. Ooh, okay. Subjects 0.
Mm-hmm.
Subject 0 namespace. It didn't. Okay, so we didn't get the namespace here. That's what it's complaining. I like when error messages tell you what's wrong.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that got created, and finally, -admin serve. Ooh, hold on. Before we create that, I think we do need to create like the secret for it, because it will store all the things that this one has into their own secret. So, and I'm gonna name it okay, so I'm not I don't usually create service accounts like from scratch like this. So what I'm concerned with, would it create that secret for us?
I don't think so.
Okay, here we go. Excellent. It did create the secret.
Oh,
it did right here. Now I think, okay, so passing the secret here was stupid. It didn't actually do anything. Okay. I shouldn't have passed it there. I messed up. Let me check. Oh, so the one I gave and they injected one as well. So I don't have to have that here. They added. That's nice. Okay, so K get secret our admin stuff -O YAML. This is what I've been working so hard towards. So this is okay. That's okay. So let's print it again. It's printing, and this is the token. And JJ, if I am not completely crazy, which I might be, this is the token we need to be able to access our cluster within REST API. And I feel like we just went in it like a half an hour detour onto this whole thing.
That's fine. We need to figure out how to do it anyway, right?
Yeah, true. I mean, I don't think in the actual application we would have to go through this, but we would have to do something different. But that is okay. That is. So mainly the reason it looks like so slow is that my CPU usages are like 90-something%. And somehow printing to my screen, it's the biggest CPU hog at this point for some reason. But it's neither here nor there. So I'm gonna make export token is equal to this. I feel like this has its like own kind of like a very retro computer vibe, like in the 1980s when you type something, you see that.
There it is.
Hot damn. You see all the
Yay!
pods, right? So the token we have created, that's like a boss token that we can get everything coming back with. So at this point, we have one of two options. Well, maybe, I don't know what are other options. So we got the token. Now, the whole goal of this token, if people still remember, and we got logged out, that's how long we been on our adventure on the other side. Hold on, let me just find back my password for this. Because God knows it's been a while. I remember the password starts with the number, this one number.
Oh, have you sent me that password?
It's in the Tmux VM. But when I find it, I'm gonna send it to you. Hold on.
I'm starting to think I need to start backing that machine up because we're starting to put a lot of stuff on there that we might need one day.
That's true.
And I do need to convert it from Debian to Fedora for our Red Hat brethren. So that's need to find a long-term place that we can put the shared environment for us to do this stuff. And we probably should do like tmux.ibmdeveloper.net instead of Asgard Labs, because that's not really true anymore.
Still in Asgard Labs. You can name that on your local VM that you got.
There you go.
That's Asgard Labs now. Found it. Excellent. My password is in the thing now. Damn it. It's okay. We're gonna change that too. Okay, so we did that. Now you're back for more punishment because we're not happy. We like so kube stuff and OpenShift Kubernetes API bearer token. Now, only thing I don't know what that is this certificate authority data. What is that? I have no idea. I mean, I probably know what it is, but I'm just saying.
You think it's
this is my token. You think it's the giant thing above, right above that? That is. Because it could be. It's a lot of things. CSR, here we go. We still need to convert that into like a base 64. And my current speed my computer is moving at, I don't know if that's ever going to work out. I mean, I could technically. Hold on. Let me try this. Famous last words. Am I right? Okay. Get secret. Our admin CA -o YAML. Pipe that to YQ -R. Is that what you do? Yes, that's what you do. Then you could say data.ca.crt. No, that's because this is this, you have to do this because there's a dot in the object name. Nope, that's not what you do. How do you do that? Do you know how to use YQ, JJ?
Oh God, yeah. You just do data.ca.cert. No, it didn't work.
But I can't because ca.cert has dot inside them anyway. Like CA is not, it's like a one word. If I did ca.cert, it will look for the object CA, then the object.
What about just try just CA then?
CA would definitely not work. If I
Show me
did
data.
data
Yeah.
would work. You see that? Data does both of them. But I need data ca dot
Well, you
cert.
probably need like forward slashes to escape it or whatever.
That could be it too. Not this one.
No, the other one. The first one you did.
It's almost like USBs. I always do the wrong one first, and both are wrong.
Hmm.
So that's just nice.
Try and
I thought this would have worked, but
that makes sense.
doesn't.
Yeah. Hmm. You're not the only one, my friend.
Yeah, like it could. Oh, I think everything goes in string. Maybe. Aha. Now
Nice.
well, I think people came here for the AWX, now gonna stay for the YQ. So yeah, this is our CSR stuff that I have to probably, okay, I can probably go, I do this, then how do I pipe that to an file? Echo dash. If I do this, this should, no, it doesn't do anything. Echo, that doesn't do anything either. Pipe that into cat. Okay, that I can do. So I can pipe that to cat, then write that to ca cert.pem. Is it a pem file, JJ?
Yes. No, ca.cert is the full file.
Oh,
No.
Oh, well, and I created a pem file. What are you gonna do about it?
Gonna yell at you later. What the hell is this doing here, Mofi?
Okay, so I did it, JJ, stop yelling. Okay, so open dot, I'm gonna just drop, they said to drag and drop that file.
Yep.
I don't know how I feel about that yet, but okay, let's drag and drop this bad boy. Oh Lord, come on. You told me to drag and drop, but I thought I did that. What? You know what? Screw you. How about I press this? No, that doesn't do anything either. Oh yeah, that's what it does. Okay, cool. I can open the folder structure. I feel like their UI needs some fixing because it didn't do the thing it said it would do. What folder? They created okay, it's roles. There you go. Okay. Okay, now we can, I can almost think about it. So this is the URL. Drop that in there. Okay, echo $, token. That's the token. Okay. I don't know what else I need to put. Oh, okay, I copied it and I didn't put it anywhere. Okay. How do we know this actually worked or not?
We should be able to authenticate against it.
Like how? Okay, now the bigger question: how do we use it?
So now we can write a simple playbook that like looks at namespaces, right? Or runs kubectl.
No,
right?
So question is it all? Oh, I think. Hold on. Let me. I think there is a thing to do is credentials somewhere in the job itself. Not demo job. It's JJ Mofi job. Okay, this is the one that worked to succeeded to print the debug statement. And again, when I'm clicking, it's being slow. It's not AWX. It's my computer literally like crawling to a halt. I don't know if I should switch the driver seat to JJ back.
It's all good, buddy. It's all
breathe
good.
a little bit. No, I mean, it's not functioning anymore. I don't know if it's all good
Oh
anymore.
God, yeah, that doesn't look. Oh well, just thinking about it.
I refreshed the web page just to. Computers, am I right? Can't live without them. Can't live with them.
That's right.
Oh man, I opened the wrong one again. Can I switch? Okay, I can switch it from here. Thank God. Okay, I switched again here. And I want to pass a credential. Hey, that's what I want to do. Oh God, wait, what? Oh, credential type, OpenShift Kubernetes, bam, select. I feel like with this will try to authenticate before anything happens. So that's that. Do you want to test that actually tries to authenticate against?
Yeah, give me 2 seconds.
How would I test it? I'm gonna just launch
Why
a
can I
job.
not get you out of here?
What?
What the hell? My computer's angry over here too.
Okay, so I don't know if it used the credential for anything, but the thing we tried doing worked. So I don't know. What I'm gonna try to do is create change the playbook or create a new playbook, whatever, so that it tries to use the Kubernetes module to just list the namespace or something.
Yes,
so
exactly. That's exactly what we want to do. That's the first thing we should be able to do. Yeah.
I think I did it in Ansible because that's what I would have done. I think what I want to do is create a new playbook for it. I'm gonna keep the demo one just so that it can keep sanity checking. Make dar simple. Oh, that's the name of the folder already. Or, oh, this is already called simple K8s. I don't know. K8s NS. CD K8s NS. Nano main dot by ML. And here is where we would bring in one of the other examples that we have played with. This one, this is D1. And the nice thing about this is since we already have the collections folder doing the community Kubernetes or whatever, we wouldn't actually, we have to still install community Kubernetes. But since it is already there, we don't have to do anything else. It will find it the right place. And host localhost, connection local, gather facts. I don't know why it's false. I can say true. Let me gather facts. Why not? And this is going to create a namespace. That's what's
that's fine. And then we can run it twice, and it should be idempotent, right? And be like, hey, it's already here.
Yep. Okay. And there was a requirements that we have to bring in now. Cat requirements.yaml. It's this one. We're gonna pull that in our cd cd collections nano requirements. Okay. Oh, we already have that, so we don't have to do that anymore. Okay, so we have the collections for Kubernetes, and okay, now it's time git add dot git commit add K8 playbook. Okay, now once we push this one, we can go back and refresh this project. Before I do that, let's first see if we already have that on the list, right? Like that would be one thing to check. Like, is there inside something that periodically updates this kind of things? I'm going to open up this one because this one failed previously, but now would actually pass if I choose the right project. Okay, so as you can see, it wouldn't pull the latest one. It hasn't pulled the latest one yet. So let me just go back and refresh this page. And hopefully this puts it in the right path. So JJ, it's been about 2 days for us to look into AWX. I don't know if you had played with Ansible extensively previously either, but let's just say it's been like 2-3 days. What's your impression been like?
So this is the same narrative with all automate.
It's not there.
Well, remember, you can look at the revision, so just keep hitting the refresh until it shows up, right? My initial feeling is the same story with all automation. You have to pay the upfront cost and the time and effort to get it to do what you want. But the beauty of it is because it's idempotent, you can just keep, as soon as you get it working, it'll just do what you want, right? So even though it's been 2 days, I think we've actually gotten a hell of a lot farther than.
I think because this, no, sorry, continue speaking. I think
I genuinely think it's very positive. Like, this is, as soon as we figure out the right incantations that we can use to do certain things, and we can just change out some variables here and there.
Okay,
or whatever.
So this one didn't find it either. It could be it could be the main.yaml issue, but I have the hosts set up, and I'm gonna just to prove they're pretty similar. Simple. The only thing missing is the name. I don't know if that should change anything, but again, I can go back and add the name as well. So I have updated that. Only thing, okay. So let's go. I'm gonna go back and add, and I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. I think like a lot of the things we're stumbling with, I mean, partly has to do with like, you know, the documentation sometimes is not the most beginner friendly, or have some pre-assumptions of coming from Ansible. So if you're already using Ansible Tower, Ansible AWX kind of glosses over some of those things. Namespace, check. So that probably is a difficult thing to get over, but also at the same time, how many people are just starting with AWX that has never done Ansible, right? So that's, I think the use case, the group we fall under is probably pretty limited, but at the same time, I would like to see a little bit more care taken for people that are coming to this for the promise of AWX, not directly from Ansible. Right?
Well,
I think,
you're absolutely right there, because people usually find Ansible as the repeatable YAML thing to provision servers for you. We, on the other hand, came in as we want an API that can run an engine to do tasks for us. In essence,
right.
we're in essence, as Paul told me when I was talking about this whole thing with him, we are basically using AWX as Rundeck, which is another product out there, which in a lot of ways Rundeck would be almost even better for what we're trying to do. But because we have access to Ansible, and we have, like, Ansible seems to have all the batteries included and the plugins of all the stuff we want to get done, it's easier for us to, like, leverage Ansible to make this stuff happen. Am I wrong?
No, I agree. And I feel like once you move, another good thing about Ansible, I don't know how played Rundeck is. Ansible does seem to have like a pretty good ecosystem. Although, like, first time you're trying to do something, the module takes a second to get hang of. But once you do that, you are not responsible. It's not only just like writing things, you don't write new things, but you also don't have to maintain anything. because there are dedicated teams maintaining those modules, even given the module is from a reputable source. In this case, Kubernetes module is like a native module that is maintained by a pretty like an active community team. Update Kate's YAML. I'm running out of name commit messages. Another thing, I could do is create a new job instead of trying to reuse this job. It could be that the jobs don't update because I'm trying to reuse a job that already had the project set up already. No?
Maybe.
So another thing to look at is what Git version we're at now. Ooh. Okay, so this should tell me I pushed it a minute ago, C050, and Ansible is looking at, it's still pulling. Okay, so it finished pulling.
No, God!
Okay.
No, God, please, no! No! No!
Why,
That's not
JJ?
No!
That's you. That's not me.
Have a fancy soundboard, JJ. People in the chat knows that. Okay. I'm going to create a new job just to be on the safe side of this thing. I don't know exactly why that is failing, honestly. Like why that is not seeing it. But so just to be on the safe side, I'll just do it here. I feel like that's when it goes and downloads this thing, which I think now that is the case. When you select the project here, that's where it goes off and creates this list. So if that is the case, it's I mean, I get it, but I'm not happy about it. You know, some of those things, like you understand why something was done a certain way, but you're still kind of mad about it.
Oh yeah, I get it.
Okay, so I think this is all there is to it. If that worked, I mean, we can honestly call it quits. Not even lying, because this is what we wanted to see, that we can pass a Kubernetes config and it just like does that stuff. But if it doesn't work, then we have other issues. Okay, so it failed 403. That's, I mean, 403 is just like it didn't authenticate properly, right? Namespace is forbidden. It got the service account staging, but it couldn't create resource. So all you gotta do is go back and figure out if it doesn't have the create resource power in the service account. That's actually another nice thing. Well, at the moment, it's really annoying to be able to go back, having to go back and do things like this. But the nice thing is we can now come here and figure out what API group we're dealing with, like namespace. I feel like this admin role, resource namespace here. So here, as you can clearly see, the permission we have is get, list, and watch.
Yes.
Right. So, but what we tried to do was create. So that's why we don't have that. So again, we can just come back and easily and say, oh yeah, create and delete. Now, well, I have to go through the whole step to create this. But I don't think I have to change the token or anything. I think the token stays the same. Could be wrong. But what I think is that all you have to do, oh God. Okay, I think all we have to do is k apply-f admin role.yaml, and everything else underneath should just then read that role, because service account, we're just saying use this particular role binding, which says use this role. Okay. Hold on. Ooh, what is happening? Okay, we got a giant error for that with the. Okay, so what is the error? Man, this is the problem of thinking something's gonna work.
You
Okay.
jinx yourself.
I did. Service complete error applying patch. There was a conflict. Okay, conflict basically tells me there is something like non-changeable thing. Okay. Okay, so K delete -F admin role. YAML. K apply -F admin role. Okay, sorry about that. I think what the issue was, because it's a role that's already established, we're editing an established role, and Kubernetes thinks that's a conflict because we already have a role that is being used. So just to be on the safe side, I think what you should do is K delete -F admin role binding. K apply -F admin role binding, and K delete -F admin SA YAML. K apply -F admin SA YAML. K get a secret. We should have one secret for this, created 5 seconds ago. And then we can say K get secret -O. Oh no, not this. Okay, what I want to do, I know the data is not the right one, but it's easier to change it here. That remember what the whole YQ thing was. Okay, so that's our CSR now. It should just update. I think double arrow appends, single arrow overrides.
That is correct. Double arrow append, so it looks like an A.
Okay, there you go. That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, this did it. So our CSR is updated, and then what you gotta do is K get secret, this whole thing. Don't need that anymore. You do need this. I need to do data dot token. Okay, that is our token. Man, whoever invented this whole piping thing on Linux is a fucking lifesaver. It's amazing. Have you, okay, so you know the JWT RFC for the whole JWT token situation, token scheme?
Yes.
So everybody uses JWT as a mechanism for authenticating and whatnot, right? And but if you read the actual RFC, JWT actually says nothing about authentication.
Really?
JWT is a scheme of transferring data securely. So that if that data happens to be your username and password, fine. But if that data happens to be your, I don't know, item cards in your shopping cart, that's also fine. Like JWT doesn't give any shits about what you actually transferred there.
Did not know that.
But like, so the actual RFC, it says, like, I was curious, like, you know, like it became kind of the de facto way we do things. So I was curious, like, if that is what like it's about. But okay, how do I go about editing this? Edit credential. I click that. Then what? Crap. Okay, I'm gonna delete this. And then I'm gonna come here. Yeah, a lot of these things I think we use in a certain way, but the intended use was never to be like X, Y, and Z. Same with REST. Like in his dissertation, he never actually said REST was like the way internet should work. He was just trying to propose an idea of how we can scale servers to reach the size we are trying to reach with them. So it's funny how kind of like one thing leads to another and we end up with things, but
no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Okay, so I'm gonna, so since it look like what they do basically just copy this entire thing there anyway. I'm gonna just skip that step and do it myself. And gotta give a name. So the name I'm gonna give it is gonna be K8 K998. K8 auth. Don't have anything else. Save that. Okay, so it's there, pretty cool. K8 auth is also there. So you can now come back, go to our templates, and the one we created is called K8's job. It did fail last time. I'm very hopeful this time we're gonna succeed in making this happen. One nice but weird, like I think it would be actually pretty nice if they had something like, if I have a credential that is being used or any resource that is being used and I try to delete it, I didn't see like it complaining about you have underlying things depending on it. It just got rid of it. So I don't know if that is something like it's over like long run. If it has bites anyone in the ass before, where you have this something depending on something, you just think, oh, this probably no one is using it, delete it, and then all of a sudden things no longer work. I don't know. Could be happen.
There's yeah. Maybe.
So this time we set the right permission, hopefully.
It looks right.
Well, thinking about it,
no,
still
we're
failed.
still doing it. Yeah.
It still failed. But okay, namespace is forbidden. What did it try to do? Fail to create object. I felt like So I think there is one command we say k-auth can I, that's the command. So you say can I create name space. So that is okay. Who cares? I think
oh my God, be quiet. So I just got the what is it, the Amber Alert, and it just triggered all my stuff to turn on. So I had like music, a video, a lot of stuff playing, and you talking. That was intense. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so create. There's another command that you can say as something. The example doesn't mention it. So what I want to see is that if I can create X as me, so hold on, let me just look it up on the interwebs one more time. CTL auth can I? That's again, if anyone watching in the audience doesn't know this command, it's actually super useful when you're trying to right scope your RBAC authentication. Can I is very useful to know, like, not to give too much permission. Also, we should do another stream someday on Open Policy Agent, OPA.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
really
know
should.
if you had already done it, but it's
no.
really,
you can always learn. You can always learn more. You can always learn more.
Oh boy. Okay, so service account, is it something? Searching for it. Okay, so they have a thing you can pass called as. Okay. Okay, so I say can I dash as our admin? No. Look at that. So let's see. Oh, it's actually not called our admin. It's called our admin SA, but still no. Damn it. How about default? No. So bit confused. What can we create that can create namespaces? Like I don't know what, like if I'm missing any particular role, because This seems to be all the roles that this role required. Create. What are all the verbs? Is there any other verbs that I'm missing? I mean, I thought there was only 5 things that you could do.
Yeah, no, there's only 5. There's the same standard REST ones, right? No?
Well, no, I think it's a little bit different than the rest. So get, list, watch, delete. So watch and list are not get stuff. Delete is, then you also have, so get, list, and create. Create is basically, I guess, post. List is a variation on get, and watch is also get and list combined, but in a streaming fashion. So okay, so K, oh no, that. Okay, so KX, I know this is my namespace that I have. Cube, CTL, config, and context. There, I think there are some commands here you could use to config view. So these are all the configs that I have set up here. This is a different cluster here. Boy. These are all the clusters that are in my config right now. Get context. These are all the contexts that are here. I don't know. I'm hitting. I don't like this wall that we're hitting right now. Not a big fan.
2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Oh shit. Settings. Anyone has any thoughts or questions, please put it in the chat. We are kind of stuck.
I would think adding this permission to my namespace would have been enough for the namespaces to, like, for me to be able to create namespaces. But I'm guessing that is not the case. Give me 1 second. Let me look at some secrets a little bit more detail on a different window, if I can. Okay.
Nice. Okay, so that's wrong.
Give our config. Have you found anything?
No, still working on it.
Okay, so you have. So okay, so you have cluster. Cluster. Looking for the cluster that is. Mofi ingress. Okay. Where is the context? Cool. Users. Okay, so in the meantime, I will look at that. What I want to try doing, instead of trying to create that namespace, what if I want to just list the namespaces or see if the namespace exists? And that's all. I guess that's what this present tries to do. It tries to make sure that it's present. Also needs permission to delete, so which I probably don't also have. Okay, KX, I should have the cluster. Okay, okay, and I delete namespace as default. Okay. Okay. Can I create pod? This one, yes, as default. No. So this one, okay. Can I create pod as? Okay, so I think there, it could be that, like the way I'm passing the as is not good. Yeah, because I should be at least to be able to list or get. I think what I'm sending as is not the right thing to send. No, let me confirm that by looking at the role and the role binding. So the kind is service account. Because the documentation for like this as talks about username or impersonate to impersonate. So we don't have a username here. We just have a service account. Did not create something like a user. So Kubernetes check if service account has permission for action. I don't think. Here we go. That's the way we have to name it. We didn't name it properly. So it is system service account. Namespace is AWX staging, and the service name account name is our admin SA-N AWX staging. Okay, I can get pod. Can I get it in all of them? Okay, I can get it in all of them. let's see if I can delete. Well, I spelled delete wrong. But I can delete pod. That's good. Okay, so I cannot delete namespace. So that permission did not take or did not like it. So I can't create namespace. But let's see if I can get names. Did I do get namespaces yet? I didn't. Okay, so I can get and sorry,
go ahead.
JJ.
No, please. You can get endless namespaces, yes.
So I can get list and watch, I believe. So this basically tells me that the new stuff we added, like the create and other stuff, for some reason didn't take. So if I say watch and if I say get a yes, that's what it was a second ago, right?
We have a statement from the chat saying, is the role you created a cluster role?
It is a cluster role, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to create a cluster role because, again, when you create a namespace is not a namespace item. So I can create a role tied to a namespace and it wouldn't necessarily work. I think that's what I'm guessing here. But here we created a, you know what, let's simplify this a little bit, right? Instead of creating this role that has hundreds of things, admin, I'm going to create an admin with namespace role. I'm going to create an admin with namespace role. It only has permission to create namespace stuff. Then we can basically isolate everything else. So, and also I don't know what this is about. I don't need any of that.
So, do you mind if I steal the screen real quick?
Sure. Yeah.
I've been a tad bit selfish, and I'm sorry. So I'm going to steal this.
Over.
And while you've been working, I have actually set up Getia, which is, if you don't know, Getia is a GitHub lightweight GitHub service, just looking like just like GitHub, as you can see here. I got it working with my domain and everything. And now, because I have this behind my own firewall on this host, now when I start writing playbooks, I can get my AWX environment, AWX, this guy, which is another machine, another VM on one of my machines, talk to my Getia instance, so I can actually start writing playbooks up on that, so I don't have to give it out to the rest of the world, which is kind of cool.
Okay. No, I mean, technically you could still write Ansible playbooks that are in the GitHub, but you can keep the GitHub private if you want.
True, and I'd have to set up all that stuff, but I've always wanted to get Getia up and running.
That's why you set up like a whole infrastructure instead of setting a secret, JJ.
Pretty much, and I got the HTTP working. I mean, you can't actually get to it because it's on my local network, right?
Right.
But maybe one day I could put like something in front of it if I ever need to expose anything. But you know, it's I actually have written up. Hang on one second. If anyone is curious, where the hell did I close it? Shit, I did. If anyone wants it, I have actually put up all the commands here, which in essence could be an actual playbook for that matter, to be able to get Getia up and running.
And the code of that could live in Getia itself.
Exactly. Whoa. So anyway, like I said, I was being a little selfish. I have been paying attention, but it was an itch I wanted to scratch.
No,
so.
God! No, God, please, no! No!
I don't know why.
No! No!
Okay.
It's triggering something, like, I don't know. Anyway, I got rid of it. So it shouldn't bother someone. So share your screen again. There you go.
Okay. Cool. Well, in terms of progress, a couple of things. One is figured out that whatever we were doing was not setting the right permission for some reason. So I'm gonna basically take a step back and create the roles from pretty much scratch. Again, I also want to like just start from here instead of like starting from like a giant role and deleting it. So Kubernetes cluster role, bam, just like look for that. Another cool little thing here is in Kubernetes, if you are building application that runs on Kubernetes and any pod that runs, the service account itself, whatever service account that deployment has, gets mounted in a location in your Kubernetes cluster, in your application itself. So if you have an application that needs to access the same Kubernetes cluster it's running on, that's actually fairly simple. Well, I say simple. Then it takes 2 hours to do a simple thing. So it's feasible. I'm gonna change my word here. It's feasible to do because it's pretty close where you're writing your application. So anyway, so this is what we need. Right, okay, this is what we need. I'm gonna just come back here and I'm gonna call it namespace creator. And I'm gonna create the object as namespace, and watch is fine. I don't know why I couldn't give create and create access, but I'm gonna do it. Create and delete. That's a cluster role. That's a cluster role for ages. Then we're gonna need a cluster role bind. So we need admin namespace role binding dot YAML. Also, JJ, another question: YAML or YAML?
YAML.
Like this one or the other one?
I find myself do YAML.
Yeah, that's what I usually go for too. But the whole Ansible ecosystem seems to hate that A because I feel like they get some pretty complex with the Ansible's A.
But it's yet another markup language. That's what it stands for, right?
I think it also means like, yo, markup language.
No, I don't think. I think it's what we call yet another markup language.
No, I'm saying the folks that do YML.
Oh, got it. Got it.
Yeah. All jokes. I mean, it's totally fine to do one or the other. I mean, since I feel like they're both accepted. And the client is service account. And the name is going to be, oh, I'm going to give it a name, right? So namespace SA. What else? Yep.
That's good enough.
And the role ref, we need this. It's going to be namespace creator. That seems like all the things in the world we needed. Okay, close to the right. Namespace role was this one. Namespace creator. Role binding was namespace binding. And finally, namespace sa.yaml. And here, I'm going to just like drop this one in. And I'm going to call it, I know I actually have a name for it already, which is here, namespace SA. Okay, so delete. I'm gonna just like delete everything, mainly because it's not doing what I wanted to do. Okay, apply -f admin namespace star. Oh, I can't do that. Oh. Can I do that? I don't think so. No. It would be nice though if I could.
You can do the directory.
I could do directory, yeah, but like it doesn't do partial matching on things. Okay, what is this? Okay, namespace subject 0. It requires the namespace. Okay, it didn't do that. It didn't. Okay, name space is gonna be AWX staging. In Kubernetes, usually they take the current namespace. I don't know what happened here. and kind namespace, kind namespace. It doesn't, okay, it requires API group kind and namespace. No, role ref requires name. Okay. Okay, so I don't think it requires the API group. Is that it? Okay. Dash F namespace dot SA. Okay, K get SA. Now we have this namespace SA. K get secret. We should have this new secret, this one. So K get secret dash O YAML. Oh, no. So this whole thing, actually, we don't even need that. So K auth, can I, as the namespace name was namespace SA, which is, can't even watch now. Geez, okay, K get SA. Let me just make sure. Namespace SA. Okay, so I feel like we have gone backwards instead of going forward. Okay, K auth. Can I watch instead of namespace? Let's say pod. We should be no because I didn't give any permission for pod or anything. So can I say resources like star? Is that something that works in Kubernetes?
I thought,
I mean,
yeah, like all of them, yeah.
I mean, which is a like absolutely terrible thing to do ever, but we're in.
No, that would make sense. Why that should work.
JJ, I think you're trying to use logic again.
I'm sorry.
We talked about this. Like, we don't want to use logic in this kind of things. So like, this is like the OP user that you don't want to usually create, but you know, desperate times. So I'm gonna just get rid of the other permission stuff. And underneath, they should just all translate to the same thing. Apply row. Okay. And okay, I can watch pod. Then I say delete. Oh yeah, I can delete pod 2. That's actually good. Delete namespace. Oh yeah. Okay, now I think this is it. This is it, JJ.
All right, let's see.
Oh, well, hold on.
Because you haven't actually done any Ansible work for almost 25 minutes at least.
No, 1 hour, more than 1 hour. I started doing this at like 3 o'clock. This is 4:20. This is like, what are you gonna do? You know? But I feel like this is the legwork that some people would have like an easier time than others. And it's not necessarily, it's more of a like if you have done it once, you know exactly what to do. If you don't, you're just like walking around like a headless chicken. So, so we need this one. We also need data. Oh, geez, how did I get it? ca.crt. Okay, did that. Also, my CPU usage dropped all of a sudden. So like I can actually use my computer again.
Yeah.
Again, I did nothing for this to happen, but it is. I'm not gonna complain per se. But
because you mentioned it, it's just gonna spike again.
Oh yeah, it did actually. Wow, JJ, your infinite wisdom. K8, auth.
I like to say I'm not just a pretty face and a beard.
I don't even think you're a pretty face, JJ.
Wait, what? Oh.
And also, you shaved your beard like so you don't even have that now. It's just like
Yeah, it's coming though. It's
Disappointing.
coming back. It's coming back. Don't worry.
Disappointing all around. That's
It's
what it
coming
is.
back. It's coming back. Don't worry.
Also, we gotta do one of these streams on cooking brisket
Mm.
because I've been eyeing some brisket cooking time for myself, and I know you are expert in that as well, along with many other things.
It's a time. It's brisket's a fun thing, but it's one of those things you can get right, but to get it perfect is like bowling. It's a lifelong thing.
Yeah, I've been also like literally dying to get to Texas so that you could. This year I had like plenty of opportunities where I would be going to Texas, but for one reason or another, it didn't. Again, when I say one reason or another, I mean mainly COVID. All my plans literally fell through.
Oh, I know all too well, my friend. I know all too well.
You know, I mean, I feel like we're making the best of it. It actually gave me more time to sit down and actually do more coding rather than traveling all the time. So it's just there are silver lining. I can find many of them, but okay. So this is attempt 53. Yes, something happened. It worked.
Yay! Yay!
So, okay. All right, let's imagine the last 1.5 hours didn't happen or did happen, but it went by really fast for everyone. So this is what we accomplished, right? Somehow we're letting AWX get access to our cluster with permissions, and which could be as simple as doing this, but I guess for most cases, you don't want to create something as broad as this one. So I'm gonna get rid of the other things because that's terrible. Didn't do jack for us. This was this one, go away. This one, go away. And this one, don't need that. This one, don't need that. So yeah, so we created quite a simple rule here that says for every API, any API group, for every resource, give me everything I can do. Again, I'm gonna write it down here again one more time. Do not do this. Also, this is not a proper YAML. This, do not do this ever. But again, for our use case, I'm gonna break my first rule immediately because again, our job is to prove that it works. And once we actually get to go building it, we're gonna take the other better approaches to do it. Whereas by better approaches, I basically just mean break down exactly what are the resources you're giving access to. For example, in our use case, it's going to be namespace. It is going to be pods. It is going to be service and deployment. But probably we don't need access to ingress, as an example. But we might need access to ingress. At that point, we're going to add that as the list, like individual rule for individual things. We probably don't want to give access to creating new namespaces willy-nilly. We want to probably control that. Again, there are a bunch of nuances to this. But again, so that's this. So this worked. Let's go back and to prove that this is idempotent. Key here is we look at it was okay, and there was so this is the one we just ran. It was okay, and there's one change. I'm gonna run this again, and if everything goes well, what should happen? We should see that it is still okay, but this time there's zero changes because because it looked for a namespace, it found it, and it's happy, and life is complete. And damn it. Okay, so cannot patch resource. Okay, so that's another one we didn't add. Okay, that's at least the error message, and that's another one we have actually. And that's another test I'm gonna actually try right now. If I just update this, right, all the underlying things that are using this should automatically actually work.
Yes.
So I just did this. Now if I come back and how do I restart? I can restart this job. Relaunch on No, I don't know what this means yet. I'm gonna forget that just yet. Okay, this one. So I don't understand why it tries to patch it just yet, but
Well,
yeah, that's interesting.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Why is it patching it? Maybe it changes like the status of this. Okay, so it finished. Now it has enough permission to do it. Excellent, JJ. We did Ansible. Put it on my resume. Apply for Ansible.
There you go. There you go.
But we did it, and what it did is like the changes here right now, right? So it didn't change anything. It just created a namespace, and you can also prove it from here. K get NS. We should see a namespace called my app. That's just here, right? And once we have opened that Pandora's box of being able to control Kubernetes through Ansible by passing it this credential, or in our case, passing some other way, now this whole documentation is our oyster. And we basically see what this allows us to do and then going about and doing it. The most basic thing we want to be able to do is, so let me talk a little bit more about like the internal tool we're working on and what that would help us do is create a bunch of clusters and take actions on all of them together using some sort of configuration where, let's say we want to set up a cluster, each of the cluster with some pre-provisioned namespace, some pre-provisioned app that we require for running workshops and content we create. We want to be able to do that. Now what we can do, create one of those Ansible playbooks that has so right now we just create a namespace. The next task would be what is this doing?
This is the auth module. Yeah, we don't have to worry about that.
Oh, I'm on the wrong module. But okay, this is the module we want to be in. We probably want to like dig deeper into that a little bit because the way we did it, it's not going to actually work for us in the long run because we can't create credentials this way for each of our clusters. Because we have,
or we're going to need to create a task that somehow stores it and does it,
right.
Which isn't great.
And I think the only thing we need to actually figure out is because the task that runs previously to this, which is create the cluster or get the cluster, the end output of that task is the your file location of your Kubernetes config YAML. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. I ran it locally, so
we can come back to it. It's okay. It's okay. Keep going.
Yeah, I'll show you that in a second. But and also, actually, I just thought of something. Never mind. I'll talk to you about that in a second. So this one, what it's doing here, they're creating a definition. Definition is looks like our plain old YAML, which is like 4-tab indentated, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if we can add a definition of multiple of them by separating them with triple dashes. I don't know.
Yeah, no, not triple dashes. There'll be different names. But if you look at the next one, like the service, we can actually create a service YAML, right? The second one down.
Yeah, I see it.
So we could actually create like basically a playbook that calls a bunch of YAMLs in a repository that installs Nginx service, and we can actually break it up and have Ansible run all that stuff against it for us, and then we just change the standard YAML file that we want to make change.
Yeah, so this is another thing I would be interested in seeing if Ansible has a way of making this source or the Kubernetes making this source a remote thing rather than having it be available here. I mean, in any case,
say that again. Say that again.
So right now, this is like, by looking at it, it looks like it's looking for a file that is from the location of this particular playbook /testing/service.yaml, right?
Yes.
It's in the same repository. I'm interested in thinking about like, can I make this source a remote repository? Can I say raw.github something?
Yeah, like absolutely, absolutely, you could. The whole source thing, you can do some really crazy things with it.
But the thing is, this source thing is a thing of K8's module. Like we have to know that the K8's module actually have implemented that to be that way, right? Or am I wrong?
There it is, right there. Source provided.
Reads from the local file.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, that's fine. I mean, it's probably a good thing that all our modules will be kind of like in the same place. So once we approve something to be there, we know that this is the file they're pulling. And all of a sudden, if the remote repository, if they can go back, let's say they put a gist in this location, right? And they go back and change the gist. Now the file we are running changes, right? So probably a good thing in terms of security.
Well, no. And also we'd have every single playbook becomes a self-contained thing, which means we can say, hey, this is how to install Nginx with a service to play with the Nginx one on this. Well, hell, we could actually probably get that up and going like right now, where we just take those examples of the service, ingress, and deployment, and then just throw this into the cookbook or the playbook, and just run it, and we should see it actually happen how we want it to, right?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let us cook. Another thing I'm going to do.
I'm gonna go grab some caffeine though. You want to take like a 5-minute break and just
do? I mean, I think this is the first time we ran 2.5 hours straight.
Yeah. So
let's do 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the be right back. Thank you for sticking around, everybody. We're gonna take a 5-minute break and then we'll be right back. So don't go anywhere. We're actually gonna do Ansible stuff now. All right. everybody. Sorry about that. You know, you get distracted and you're walking around and then you're like, oh no, I was supposed to be doing something else. Always a problem, right? So
Are we back online
Mofi.
again?
Yeah, we are. We are live.
All right. Okay.
So, okay. So where are we? We have six. Oh God, what the hell was that? So we have successfully, or I should say you have, because I really haven't done anything. Apart from some peanut comments. You've successfully gotten AWX to authenticate against our Kubernetes cluster. You've created a service account that can now create and list
Everything.
namespaces. Can you
Well,
have you updated the playbook? Before you do that, have you updated the playbook to change from present, or what is it?
to absent.
Yeah, just to see if it deletes it.
So I was thinking to keep that names like a playbook there, and I was gonna just create a new playbook, which I already did, and add a bunch of new things. And here I'm gonna change create a new namespace called demo, and I'm gonna go through the order, right? First, I'm gonna create a new namespace, then create a deployment, then create a service, then check the service in some way. I don't know exactly what we want to check it yet, but check the service, and then finally delete everything. Yeah, right. So that's kind of my game plan, what I want to do. And so, yeah, so the namespace part is already taken care of. And I was, while you were, busy doing nothing. No, I was in the process of reading the documentation. Documentation seems to be pretty up to date in terms of like what we need to get done here. So what it looks like we have to do is get ourselves so under K8S, create this thing. So this one has to go tab. And again, for this one as well, I moved everything to on a VS Code because we're going to do a decent amount of typing. Yep. And so I feel like having something where I can type and copy paste easily. So again, so this is trying to create service, which is not what we want. We want a deployment, but as simple as what I'm going to do is going to find the default Nginx deployment, deployment K8S. And if you go to look for the official docs for Kubernetes and deployment, this is the first thing you'll find. So that's what I will pull out here.
Yeah, isn't it just the Nginx one?
It is the Nginx one, but I just wanted to like copy instead of trying to write this from memory.
Totally.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in their right mind remembers how to write any of these things from memory. So
if they do, there's a much different conversation we have.
Again, I mean, if people do that, that's I feel like it's probably a party trick at that point rather than actual useful skill. And what I want to do. Okay, what did I do? Did I mess up? No, I didn't mess it up. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this tab. I can press tab. Okay, tab. That's it. So that is the definition for Nginx. So practically speaking, this should create the Nginx deployment, right? So, but that's not all we want. We care for not just that, but what we care for is next level. So create a deployment, then expose that using. I guess we want to create load balancer because one of the checks we want to actually see is that we are getting like a public IP attached. That is one of the tests we want to achieve. So probably going to be good to make that our service. So I'm going to do that here. I mean, probably okay, one thing in our Kubernetes deployment, is there any easy way to figure out what is our ingress host name is without having the IBM Cloud CLI?
Doesn't get ingress give you
get ingress shows you if you have an ingress created, right?
So you're actually talking about our actual subdomain.
Yeah, I want to know what the subdomain is because that way we could use that subdomain to create the ingress resource. You know what I mean? Okay, so there is a hacky way to do this. Like I have done that before, which I would do something like, hey, get ingress dash dash all namespaces, and there are some default ingress namespaces. So I would do this, and I would get like ALB health ingress, and this is our ingress after that, right? And whatever ingress is, this is the ingress secret. So if I also can test TLS is working.
So you, I literally just posted this into
our chat, or
just about to. Where the hell did you go? There you are. So this isn't the answer, but it looks like someone basically asked that exact same question on Stack Overflow. And there's there's not really a way to do this.
I mean, as I was saying, so if there's no like an official way to do this, as an engineer, we can hack many things. So we can probably hack it too. So two things, right? We need to get a ingress subdomain. So all IBM Cloud Kubernetes cluster comes pre-baked with an TLS certified, Let's Encrypt TLS certified ingress that you can actually get HTTPS out of the box without doing any extra work. So the ingress subdomain is this thing, right? And the name of the secret is this thing. So, and every single Kubernetes cluster that we have that has been deployed properly, we should have in kube system these two ingresses.
Yes.
So technically speaking, I could parse that out if I figure out how to do that in Ansible. So anyway, so that's not a problem. I think for now, let's not worry about that just yet. I have bigger things to worry about. Okay, we're in the right place. So state is present. We want definition. And definition would be this another the service one. The service is is it the one? Okay, I'll just copy this in and then I will replace it to match my Nginx deployment. Okay. So I'll name that service Nginx as well. And the label is app Nginx. Port is 80, and I think Nginx works on 80 only. So this is our service, and selector is that. I have to say, I'm gonna say type, and I'm gonna say load balancer. That's pretty much it. And for now, I'm gonna just ignore the check of the service. I just want to see that it creates this, and then I can probably copy it and make it. When you say absent, I guess you only need to give it the name. You don't necessarily need the whole. Absent just need the service and the namespace, name and the name, namespace, and type. It can make it absent. Okay, so kind is this. I probably want to in the metadata get a namespace in there, and I want the namespace to be demo, and same here. Namespace. And another like short thing I told you, I think we talked about this before. So the label here for the deployment, when you're making a service and trying to use the selector, you're actually not targeting this label. You're targeting this label. And I mean, in most cases, you can name the same thing, but if for some reason you end up naming them differently, you will find it out the hard way that service only targets the labels of pods, not actually the deployment.
Which is annoying.
Anyway, so yeah, it's a good thing to know. And if you think about it, it actually makes sense because you can actually create bare pods in Kubernetes, which doesn't have any deployment, or you can create a pod that is backed by a replica set or a job. So a pod is the lowest thing a service is to target. So it makes sense that it does it. It's pretty, you know.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but when you hit the error first time, it is very annoying. I was looking for hours. Why is my thing not being deployed? But anyway, so okay. Oh God. Okay, git add dot git commit dash m add a full flow git push origin master. I'm going to close this once it's done. Okay, it's did it. Excellent. Let's go back. Let's go here. And I want to put this in the bottom again if we can. Okay, so here, I'm gonna go create a new job. I like the name of this authentication here though. This is like being the right amount of optimistic. Kubernetes auth should work.
Yep.
Okay, so K8s flow. It's a run. We're gonna use the inventory, test inventory. The only reason we have test and demo comes built in with it, and we just wanted to create an inventory from scratch just to see how it is. And we ended up creating that. It's the same exact thing. So if you were to deploy, okay, so this didn't show up again.
You want to double check the SHA?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna double check that for sure.
Maybe just
Oh, I did. Oh yeah, I didn't refresh the project. Haha.
There you go.
Great call, JJ. So this is what I was saying, right? As I change my code, I would probably expect it to be updated by the time I get to it, right? And I mean, again, I don't think this is like a good common flow to add new thing, like immediately create a job on this. You probably create a bunch of these playbooks and create existing jobs like this. So, but I'm just saying it's
not something you would, yeah, it's not something you would iterate so quickly on to make changes. Like you eventually get it working and then you just let it do its thing at the time. But we're really beating the crap out of this thing.
Yeah. I mean, if it can't take the bidding from 2 people, it doesn't have the right to become like a enterprise solution, right?
Well, that's true too. That's true too.
Okay, so yeah, there you go. Nice. So it found its way. That's good. Let us now this token Kate's auth should work. And that is that. Everything else looks all right. I'm going to save that. And on my another thing I'm gonna do, get code-n demo. I think this is gonna fail. Okay, so it's gonna fail, but that is still okay. Because I want to be able to just like run this here. And when I start the job, I want to see, well, I can see it here too, but moment of truth, JJ, moment of truth.
All right, let's see it.
First things first, create a namespace. It changed it, so it failed immediately. Great. Okay, that's not happy about it, but okay. So what we tried doing is we tried creating in okay. So this namespace SA doesn't have the permission to do it in the namespace demo. Okay.
Which is expected.
Well, I didn't think that would be because.
No, I guess you're right. Yeah.
Is there any rules that says like the namespace itself? Okay, let me try this then. K auth can I namespace SA. I can create namespace, right? Okay. Then I can create a namespace, which I think it did. K get ns. It should say a namespace called demo. Yeah, we did that. So that part is solid. Then I can say demo. In the demo namespace, can I create? Oh, yes. Deployment. No.
Do we need
Why?
to create another S? No, wait, hold on.
Why is deployment not part of the resources that is star? That's what I'm concerned.
That is a
confused
good question.
I mean, I could create a new resource, right? I could create a new resource for it, but my concern is, why would I have to? Because this is dumb, because if I'm giving myself the permission to do star, I'm guessing deployment for, in my opinion, should be part of star.
Same here. Configure service account for pods. Looking at docs.
Okay, I created that. Okay, it's still no. So what gives?
Is it deployment, not deployments?
Yeah, maybe. Okay, let's try something like a wrong spelling. Can I randomly just add a resource? Well, I didn't apply that. I want to see. Oh, it doesn't even fail. So yeah, it could be the spelling was wrong. Now we're back to Kubernetes again. Okay, so that is a no.
Service account Kubernetes create deploy. There we go.
Anything you found?
Looking.
Oh,
Hang on.
You just searched it. I don't expect to find stuff right away. But I'm going to close some of this. I'm going to look at that as well. Kubernetes service account, create deployment rule. Oh, role.
Okay, so rules. Can I see the rules again?
Yeah, our rules says this thing. API group says this. I think we need to add more API groups here.
Yeah.
Also, my headphones are dying. Let me switch them. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Wow, you are really soft now. And I got echo. I just want to see some YAML, damn it.
Okay, so I think my audio should be working again.
Oh, yep, there you go. You sound a lot better.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah, cool. All right, so. Okay. So this indicates the core API group. So I guess API groups mean V1. Might be that for deployment, we need to list, well, that is V1. Apps V1, that could be the reason.
Yeah, I think it needs to be RBAC authorization. Sorry.
So what if I come back here and say V1 and apps V1 here, just like so.
And also do RBAC authorization. This guy. Hang on. Let me send this to you. Where'd you go? Damn it, Mofi, where'd you go?
I went home.
There you go.
Okay, let me open that up. But by the way, adding v1 and apps v1 didn't do anything.
Yeah, damn it.
Well, could be that the combination of both things. Well, that's where I think that's where I was. No, we did this part. This is not.
Well, you saw that off the API version.
Where
right?
did you see that? Around what line?
No, just look at the API version right there. For role example, RBAC authorization, KDS, down, right there, or the next one, or any of them really. You see that?
API group?
RBAC, no, the API version of RBAC authorization, kdos.io/v1.
Oh no, I think we have that. I think we do that. That is here in our, yeah, that right here.
Ah, damn it.
No, we do that is the version of the object itself. We wouldn't be able to get away with not doing that. But K API sources, resources. We have too many things, so bear with me. But
it's very odd that we can't find. Hang on. Service.
Oh, so this is all the different things we could do. Look at that.
Oh.
So we can create, delete collection, get, list, patch, update, watch. So in total, there's 8. We have 6 here. Okay. Cool.
Deployments.
Deployment is where is
deployments?
Yeah, deployment is here.
It's everything.
Yeah, I mean deployment should be able to do everything. That is true, but the issue is.
Wait, it's deployments, not deployment. Oh no, we already thought that.
I mean, I don't. Okay, so let's add the other 2 as well while we're at it. This is basically the delete collection is basically when you try to do a dash all. That's the one is delete collection. Right, not here. Okay. 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 So can I get this in -n default? No. AWX staging. That's where this is. No. So who can create deployment or get deployment for that matter? I can create pod, but not deployment. What kind of permission is this? Kubernetes role can create pod, but not deployment. I feel like we need to end up creating an issue on this one because this doesn't seem right. If I give a star permission, I technically expect to get everything.
I just got this gut feeling we're missing something obvious. You know?
I mean, that's possible.
Maybe it's not like. Go back to the star real quick. Maybe we change it from a list, or the hit enter and make it a list and just do star without the quotes.
I mean, that is the YAML syntax that is allowed.
I'll try that.
And then I can also say.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's dumb, but YAML can be dumb sometimes.
I don't know why would they treat Kubernetes like deployment any different than any other. Like, for example, can I get deployment? That's just as me, yes. But as service account, which technically I gave permission to do everything everywhere, I cannot. I don't get it. What if I change the API group to star as well? So match everything. And this is star. Could be that the API group is not matching. So I can do this. Oh, I didn't apply that yet. Hold on, let's apply this. Oh, okay. The API group was the problem. Got it. API group was the problem. API group like V1, apps V1, none of them was good. JJ, it is KS look KS.
Yep.
You know what that means?
No.
KS look KS. It's a Spanish proverb, which is a translation of an English proverb that says it is what it is.
No. Nice. Nice.
Okay, so I'm gonna, well, the one we actually get is all we care for right now, but actually the one we truly care for is create, which I believe we'll also be able to do. So, all right, back to Ansible again. Excellent. We can do this. I'm glad that, I'm glad we're hitting all that things, because I would rather fail and figure out how to fix it rather than nothing fails now and then actually fails when I try to do actual things.
Exactly.
So in a roundabout way, what I'm trying to say is failures are not our enemy. Taxes are. What? No.
What?
Okay, so moment of truth number 2. All right, deployment creating was successful, service creation was successful. So everything just worked, it's finished.
It just worked.
Yeah, it's done. It's done. It's like bring in some actual AWX experts that do the entire thing like 8 minutes and be like, well,
yeah,
it took you 4 hours, noobs. Get -n demo. Yeah, it's
there
running.
you go.
It just
running.
does it.
Just fine.
No big deal. Service, yeah, you got a load balancer. What now?
Oh
What about
God.
it? What about it? Right?
Jesus.
Okay, so a couple of things we didn't do properly, because here it just changed and then Kubernetes, it didn't wait for it to actually happen. Oh, you can actually click it and see what happened. Oh, nice. That's cool. Yeah, you can look at the entire. Okay, so couple of things we do probably want to be able to do is take the output from one and pass it to the other. That is going to be very crucial for us. Ansible KH module. Where is that? I think this is it.
Ah,
Oh, what did you break, JJ?
my pen just flew out of my hand.
Your
That was
pen?
weird. Yeah, my pen, the pen I play with when I'm talking and thinking.
Oh, okay.
It just like went, just jumped out of my hand. It was like, nope, no more. Like, oh,
Your pen was like, my people needs me.
yeah, I guess. It was weird.
Anyway,
Not gonna
so
lie.
here we are. So, aha, here we go. Excellent. We can give in a wait condition. So we want to be able to test before we complete the job. We want to add a wait condition that says it is, if it's a create job, we want to see that it's a ready, whatever deployment's ready state looks like. I need to know exactly what are the options we get here, but okay.
There's got to be a way. Okay, there you go. Wait, that's just present.
Right. So I didn't say wait to be true. Choice by default is no, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for deployment, daemon set and pod. So we're creating a deployment here where we can just say wait to be true, and it will not go through unless it is actually ready. That's what I'm getting from here. So what I want to do now, as probably the last thing we do today, is set a wait on the deployment and also run kind of like a watch on the left side on a separate pane so that you can keep watching, kind of monitor Ansible is doing the right thing for us at least, and see if the Ansible job moves on the next step until our deployment becomes ready. Or in this case, they say that it's implemented for deployment, daemon set, and pod. That's what we care for. If we do a deployment, I want the deployment to be ready before it moves on to the next thing. That's number one. Number two is, this is more difficult, but we want to do that, is that when we say we want to create a service with a load balancer, it sometimes takes a second for the load balancer to become available, right? Like load balancer automatically doesn't show up right away. So this is the next thing. We want to run a wait condition to see whatever the wait condition is. I don't know exactly how to do this one, because we have to see like the status and like what the status object comes back as so that we can do this. But we can figure that part out. I don't see here they're doing any wait or wait condition example. So we can do also, okay. So we can get a result back, common return value. So when you try to do something, you get a return value. Let's see what are the common ones. So we can see a return value object and figure out what we can do with that return value.
Here we go. Here's a really bad example, but at least it'll give us somewhere for go. There you go.
Yeah, we have a lag in Slack. Like when I heard your enter, that's when I on Slack, I saw like JJ's typing. And about like 2 seconds later, I saw the message. About now, I heard the beep from Slack.
There's a second one there too.
Okay. Wait condition. Here we go. Excellent.
And then click on the next link too. There's it's actually a pretty good example right there.
That's the Stack Overflow?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a workaround, but at least I think it's doing exactly what you're looking for.
Okay.
Right there.
So, this is the one update.
Yeah, you see that fail right there. You see the until job.status resources status active does not equal 1. It
Okay.
just sits there.
Cool.
So there's a couple ways to skin this cat.
So register is the way you can give yourself the status of it, like kind of get the resource, like output, save it somewhere, right? That's how you do it. I don't know how Ansible is doing whatever it's doing. Okay, so wait timeout, yes. Wait condition, type complete status, true. That's another answer. Okay. Okay, so again, their use case is for a job. Ours is more of a service. I don't know what a service, like, you know what I mean? Like our service is a little bit different than a job because service doesn't have a completion state. And demo. So for example, in this case, we have a service. We want to see that this is not empty. And I don't know how we go about doing that just yet. Okay, so that's fine. So I think we can play with this a little bit more. But I feel like let's just for starting do the deployment suite because it's already implemented. I think that is a good place to start for us. So I'm just gonna have to say here, wait I'm just gonna have to set it to true. And that should be the end of it.
That seems too easy.
JJ, sometimes what is easy is easy. Or not. I mean, we have gone back and forth a few times today already, so I don't think why this should be any different. So another thing I want to do while we're at it here, I'm gonna say watch dash and demo. Oh, not get. Oh, what I want to do is watch get all. So we get to see it immediately. And actually gonna delete everything. Okay, delete all dash dash all. Okay, delete deploy dash dash all. Okay, delete service dash dash all. Wait, what namespace am I in? Okay.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's okay. KS demo. Okay. This namespace we're gonna move somewhere anyway. So this is, but that's unfortunate that I have done that.
Took down production. It's fine.
Yeah, what else? What else?
Why is my phone ringing?
Yeah. Okay, get pro. We have nothing. Okay. Watch. Okay, so we're gonna just like have that on the corner here. I'm gonna, so that we can, and what I want to do is, font is a bit small. Bear with me on that. That's fine. And I'm gonna make the window on this side like halfway through as well. The font is gonna get even worse.
Or at least we'll see everything happening. We'll see everything happening.
Yeah. That's what I wanna go for. I think I just added the weight. I pushed the code. I need to just update it before I do anything. That's one of the things. Okay, so project, come back here. And update this. It's doing its thing. It's such like a simple thing, but it works pretty great. I'm actually quite happy with this. Okay, so this is, okay, so let's go back here.
Excellent.
And well, let's run it before we pull out our big applauses. Okay, so we did that, and we should jump to this new page now. And I can scroll down to the bottom to see what's going on as things start printing here. Okay. So the namespace, it would not create the namespace because it exists already. Okay, here you go. So it's starting to create a deployment, and it's moved on to the service, and we see the service. I mean, it happened so fast, I didn't even see it if that was like waiting for it or anything.
Yeah, it went changed pretty quickly, and we had container creating was one state of it.
But the other thing is, when you do watch by itself, it runs every 2 seconds too.
Yeah, that's true.
And the image we pulled was a small image that we already have built one, so it already has the images downloaded locally.
Yeah.
So I mean, since it didn't fail, I'm gonna actually go on a limb and say this is working. I think I felt like it took a little bit longer than last time. Again, this is something verifiable, so I think what I feel like doesn't really mean much. But we've been streaming for about 3.5 hours, and I think we got decent distance with this, where you can kind of like start to build more things on top of it. So you want to target next Friday one more time to get the full flow of creating a cluster and or like starting with a cluster, pulling in the information for a cluster and doing the same thing without doing the whole service account situation. Because if we create the cluster and pass the configuration of a cluster to this, that configuration has everything we need.
Yeah.
Already,
No, yeah.
right? So
yeah, we're not going to be creating service account. Well, we're creating service accounts for applications, but we can always assume we're going to go in as cluster admin. So we just need a way to authenticate to be able to get to our API endpoint to be able to run the commands. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, so a couple of the things as I was thinking is that how do we go about doing this? Is that in Ansible, I was going around and I probably saw something where you could export, like you could create a new environmental variable. And if you have an environment variable, you can just create an environment variable that is being used for the rest of the steps, right? I think that is possible to do in Ansible. So all it needs is a step that exports the kubeconfig variable with the right data, with the YAML file in the right place.
I think I'm following you. Yeah.
So if we do that, we don't actually need the authentication step anymore. It will just use the kubeconfig file, which our Ansible to download the things already does. So that's where I am right now. So that's what I'm thinking we would end up doing.
There's something in the back of my head there. I can't put my finger on it though. But let me sleep on it.
Yeah, I mean, we might need to change that strategy in a week when I do some more research. I'd probably find like better way or how that way wouldn't work. One or the other.
In my mind, like when we get our hey, IBM Cloud, give me a cluster, and it sits there and waits until it actually shows up. We're going to need to basically, like when we spin up 30 clusters or whatever, we're going to need to parallelize it. And then each cluster will need its own kube config so we can do the post provisioning.
Right.
Right. So if we create a workflow that creates it, each one, and then just hands off the kube config when it gets it, but it still needs to be in a fully ready state before we start installing things on it, right?
Right, and that's where the Ansible module for IBM Cloud actually really nice, because it doesn't. For example, my application when I was working on it, what I would do is make an API call to create a Kubernetes cluster, and when the API endpoint will give me an OK, I'll come back. But that OK basically means the job was submitted and it is working on it. It doesn't mean the cluster was created. But I think the goal of the Ansible module that we have, the goal of that is to go create a cluster and use Terraform to keep checking until that cluster is available and ready.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And whenever that is ready, the final state is download the config and put the config in a local file.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So that's what the final step is. So I'm just thinking, somehow hoping that is all correct. Even if it's not for some reason, because it's something that people in IBM wrote, we can then go bother them or help them finish that to do that thing. Because since it's published under the IBM Cloud GitHub repo, I'm guessing they have done reasonable amount of testing to see it works for the most part. If it has regressed a little bit, it doesn't work 100%, we can fix that part. That is fine.
Yeah.
But what I'm assuming right now that all that works, although that's a bad assumption, but I'm assuming that all that works, and I have a file somewhere in the local file system before these tasks start running with the proper YAML for Kubernetes connection. Then I can, now I'm assuming I'm going to take that file and start from there and do whatever I need to do. So the next test what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a local file in my Git repo, probably have to do some private stuff. I'll put a local file that is a Kubernetes configuration and start from there. Until we figure out the Ansible playbook for IBM Cloud for a few days. So that is going to be one of the tests I run. And then in terms of like, once we have that step, rest of the things are pretty much depending on what kind of task we want to run, right? Like once you figure out. One of the thing you mentioned, and I totally agree, is that when you try to create a cluster, we have to totally parallelize that job, because if you're trying to create 50 cluster, If it waits for one cluster to finish before it starts the next cluster, we're waiting for weeks for all the clusters to finish. So you have to start all 30 cluster. If AWX has a way of either spinning up more worker nodes or whatever it needs, but we need to figure out a way where you can parallelize this so that we can start all the jobs at the same time. And because most of the task of the job is calling the API, then just waiting, pinging every 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 50 seconds until the status is coming back as ready. Other than that, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, if you want to make your AWX bigger real quick.
Yeah.
What at least I imagined, and please tell me that I'm wrong here. Go to templates. I imagined, just thinking about it, yeah.
It's just my computer being slow. The website itself, like the app itself, actually works pretty fast.
So I imagined creating a workflow here instead of a job, right? So what we'd end up doing is we'd create a workflow that installs Istio, right? Where we'd create one workflow that's like Istio build of a cluster. And then we would spin it up and we'd like, we need 30 of these. So we kick off this workflow 30 times and it parallelizes calling out to IBM Cloud. And then at whatever rate they go, they build it. And then when it's checked and can do the thing, it goes to the next step, which is install Istio and then send the email saying it's done or whatever, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if we just have it as singles and then we parallelize the engine to say, hey, I need 30 of these workflow templates to run, go make thing happen, right?
Yeah.
And there's a really nice way to do dependencies off of that visualizer. So if we're all modularized it, we could even do logic in it too, if we wanted to do something different.
Okay, I saved it. It's probably thinking about it. Yeah, it did. It finished. Okay, excellent. Now we have to figure out what is, visualizer. It starts at the visualizer. Okay. All right, let's just create one. Whatever. So let's just create. Yeah, let's see what he got here. So you click on start, and then it comes to
so you can just, you pick your little jobs and all. So just do like the echo, whatever the job.
Right. So whatever the job. What is the job? That was JJ Mofi job. Was it that, or was it?
I think so.
I think JJ Mofi was it. Okay. So how do I get it here?
Hit the question mark real quick. So it actually tells you which playbook it does, right? If you scroll down.
Okay.
And then you can say,
okay. Well, I'm zoomed in way too much. That's why it's like messing up.
You can zoom out a little bit. You can zoom out a little bit.
Yeah, I could probably. This is visual, so I think probably I can get away with zooming back down to 110. Oh boy. Okay, it's back. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it here, and I'm gonna. Lord. Okay, I'm gonna select JJ Mofi. It says select. So that is right here. Okay, that's one of them. Then I create another job. After that takes that output of this, runs on success. Say after that succeeds, we want to run KH flow and select that and see if I can change a thing or two about. But I did something.
So that allows you to change the dependency. So if you do a bunch of like jobs here, if you just hit plug, and then you can branch it out, which in our case is exactly what we want, because we just have very basic steps we want to go through, but we don't know when the cloud is going to come back with the resources, right? So if we have a very simple workflow of A, B, C at different rates, we do need eventually some type of notification or something, like send it into Slack or something saying, hey, it's up and running, or some shit like that,
Okay. Yeah, you can also have you can add human intervention or something. But why not? Let's try to run this workflow. I think this KH flow is fully, how do I say, isolated in the sense that whatever it needs is already has.
Compartmentalized. Go ahead and say it.
But let's say this.
You see the potential though, right? Like you see do you see like at least what I'm seeing where this is the possibility of it coming together?
No.
Okay, good. We haven't figured out how to override the rest calls yet with the different variables. Like if we needed 30 of these or whatever, like how many times do we kick off a job? But that's a problem for future JJ and Mofi.
It always is. Okay, so we have this. I can launch it immediately. Why not launch it?
Yeah.
So ideally, it should do nothing, mainly because, well, it should print the first one. Oh, look at that. It would print the first one. It finished the first one. The second one, it's just looking for if it's present or not. And in this case, they're both there. Given the secret, I'm guessing it's in there already.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so I can look at the like other job, and that one also finished because everything was already there, so it didn't have to create anything new.
Mm-hmm.
That's brilliant. That's all we care for. So we want to run this. We could do okay. This is perfect. So we can create a job for create things. We can create a job for testing that these are there.
Mm-hmm.
Things like simple as like making a curl command, or like even a binary that makes a call to the endpoint that gets passed to it and sees, like for example, instead of running Nginx, we could probably run a custom application that we write, and that can give a little bit more information. Things like what pod it's running on, like if it's giving 200 back and things like that. We can make a curl command there, check the output against our output. And then after that, the next step, it will pass on to the next step. It would be saying, yeah, done, job done. Right, delete everything. Yeah, delete everything.
Yep.
And this way, we can convert. Oh, it's actually still going.
Why?
Okay. I don't know.
Oh, there, no. Huh. Well, yeah, exactly. Like this gives us the engine that we need.
Yeah, so now I think, so next week, I don't know, what do you want to tackle? We have like a couple of things we need to figure out here. But one of them being able to control this AWX thing from outside using REST, right? That is one of the requirements we have. And the other one is basically getting the full thing. Right now, we just did some mucking about to create the service account that has permission for everything. But ideally, we want to get this for each cluster, download the config, use that config to do things, right? So that these are once we get those two pieces, all the future things actually not necessarily JJ and Mofi's responsibility completely, because we will have a bunch of people bringing their workshop, and with their workshop, they want to know, oh, this is actually JJ, and this is a little bit off topic, but this answers another question we were having earlier. How do I get a workshop to start from position X?
Yeah. So right now, what we're going to have to do is we're going to just have to, whenever somebody writes a workshop to be in state 0, 0 plus 1, 0 plus 1 plus 2, we're going to need to ask them to write those manifests to be in that. And then if they want to create a workshop that is in like a third workshop of 0 plus 1 plus 2, we're going to have to run a playbook or something like that to configure that Kubernetes cluster in 0 plus 1 plus 2. We're the only way we're going to do this successfully is to mandate this and be like, if you want to have more advanced workshops that are in state so you can learn from that moment, we need the artifacts, because we're not going to run through the workshop every single time. Like that's ridiculous, right? So you need to give us that so we can programmatically get it into the state you want it to be.
Yeah.
Which as we've seen with just the experiment today, is as long as they create the deployments and the manifests, hell, we could just slurp those into Ansible, where we could create a job that puts it in OpenShift 201, right? Is the workshop where they're like, hey, I want OpenShift 201 set up for everything. Here's the deployment. We run it against to get that there, which is great. So this is good, and also because it all being Git too, which we're obviously, I don't think we can put a lot of this in public Git right now at the rate we're going here. Because I don't know if we want to actually, well, I guess we could give that stuff out.
I don't think there is any reason why we can't, because the workshop material itself is public, available through. So all we are doing is wrapping the deployment YAML. Instead of having a deployment YAML, it'll be an Ansible YAML that calls the deployment YAML, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. As long as we don't have any secrets in there. But anyway, I know we're getting into implementation details, but it sounds like what we need to do is, if you get bored this weekend or myself, I'll start a doc of all the different steps that I think we need, right? Because if anything, like that's what a task is. It's just a step in what we need to do. So maybe we could come back with 2 little documents of what we think the steps are to get a workshop built in this ecosystem. And then we can what's the word when they come together and find the, you know what I'm saying? Like we can spend a couple of minutes and figure out what the steps are that you and I both see, and then make sure that we get them all, and then we just start writing out the steps. And of course, we can't get the requests of the thing working. We have access to talk about this stuff. It all opens up to some really neat things.
Right.
Awesome.
So I think this is a good spot to end, JJ. This is one of the few streams where we started off by saying something's gonna get done, and by the end of it, we actually did it, which is a pleasant surprise for me. Usually, we end up like diverging way too much. But again, we had some roadblocks, and many of the roadblocks is hard for the course because we're trying to do something like almost from the middle of what our actual thing is going to be that like. So we had to do some mocking to get to that point without doing the first thing we needed to do in the first place. But like this is a long-winded way of saying that this is like all automation system, as JJ you pointed out earlier, is that all automation system has this upfront cost that you have to spend, both in scale, like building up that scale, also building this artifact. Like running Nginx thing on Kubernetes, doing via directly kubectl run is probably would have taken us 1 Google search and 30 seconds, right? Yep. But what we achieved today is the idea that how we can like kind of exponentially grow this to not just running Nginx, but installing Istio, making your workshop state like that would have taken someone 3 hours, but now they're joining for workshop 2. They already start from their workshop 2 state, which is very difficult to achieve if you're just having vanilla Kubernetes. Yep. Right.
There is one thing that we do need to think about though, and we haven't actually thought about this, is that even though like we're going to have all these deployments and all, because my brain is picking up again, we're going to need to figure out a way to kubectl apply random shit from the internet into some kube clusters, right? We can't always assume, like for instance, Istio is a perfect example, right? Or Tecton for that matter, right? What you do is you kubectl apply homeboy URL from Google to install Tecton right now, right? We're not going. We cannot assume that we will always have the most up-to-date deployment YAMLs for that.
That is actually not a problem of this, because the Ansible has a way to download things, right? We can just add a task to download that file, then apply it next step. Right.
No, just run kubectl. Why wouldn't we just run kubectl as a shell app, right?
Well, we have to make sure that kubectl is available on that particular image, which I don't think it is. Right, because kubectl is not a module. K8s is a module that internally uses.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah.
Right. So,
okay.
Which is again,
anyway,
there are workarounds to those problems are, I think, much minor than I think the bigger problems we have to deal with right now. Number one is educating other people how to create workshop that would be like this fully isolated system where it works on its own. Like they should be able to create a workshop for Kubernetes, then teach a workshop on Ansible, because they would be building a lot of Ansible things too. I mean, probably not everybody would be doing that, but I think we have to empower them to give them examples of how they can do it without learning the whole Ansible ecosystem, which is huge. And the past 2 days.
To your point, we just create a really nice framework or like a nice example. Be like, put your files here, right? This is the state you want to be in. This is the task that wants to happen. You give to us, and we'll make sure it works how you expect it to. Congratulations. That's all you need to worry about. Like,
Right.
As I keep saying, that the ultimate goal here is we want our developer advocates, we want our evangelists to focus on the content, not the infrastructure.
And I mean, again, for a lot of workshop content that people do create here, also another point is not everybody needs the cluster to be in X state. For some workshop and content, it's okay to have a vanilla Kubernetes cluster, right? For those, you do nothing. You just come back and come to us and say we need a cluster. That's fine. That's solved. But we're talking about right now, the challenge is for many of the workshops, we are skipping out on 301 and 401 content because we don't want people to spend 1 hour setting up that infrastructure or like setting up their cluster to the point where they can actually teach those content. And with this, I think we can get to that, which is going to be pretty cool. But I think, yeah, this is a good point to end. JJ, thanks for again having me. It was fun as always. And
maybe next week we can grab Brian or get Brian to get one of his Ansible experts on here for us, so we can actually we can dig deeper into this.
Yeah, he or she can totally tell us how many things we're doing wrong, and we can fix those. That'll be great. That'll be so great.
There you go. Oh, real quick before we bounce out, could you put your repo in the chat?
Oh yeah.
Or just give it to me real quick so I can put it there. Because I know you made some really good changes in there. And if anything, it's a really good place to start if you want to play any of the stuff at home.
Okay, I'll drop it to you because I don't have Twitch open right now.
Okay, perfect. All right, you want to stop sharing your screen?
Yeah.
All right.
I did share that with you. Did it go to you yet? Oh,
is it?
Okay.
No.
Well, Slack is being slow as hell. Okay, hold on. I typed it in. I just need to press enter now. Enter. I did it. Okay.
There we go. Perfect. And I'm putting it in the chat. So just real quick, if anyone else, if anyone's still here watching or whatever, if you have any questions real quick, I'm going to keep this going for just a couple more seconds or so. Otherwise, it's Friday afternoon. I want to go, not be in front of the computer.
What?
Well, actually, I got to watch those AWX videos. The ones that I found, like
I'm gonna spend some time there as well. I have to do some tech on stuff. So, anyway,
yeah, the propaganda videos. By the way, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, that's the next link in the thing. It's docs.ansible.com/Ansible-tower. This is, once again, if you don't remember, AWX is just the upstream version of Ansible Tower. So walking through all these things is advantageous to say the least. So. Cool, Mofi. Well, thank you, and I'll talk to you on Monday, buddy.
Peace.
Bye, everybody.